Chapter 10-19. Li Fan walked over to take a look. His admirer, the freshman, was blocking another person, not letting him in. "Let me in, I want to learn martial arts from master. This is the Martial Arts Society. You, a Korean, want to learn? Dream on." The admirer scolded, "Hurry up and go back to your society. You're not welcome here. I won't leave until I see master." "Ma Dan, if it wasn't for the fact that I can't beat you, I would have done it already." The admirer wanted to continue scolding, but Li Fan suddenly reached out and patted his shoulder. "Stop talking and get into the horse stance." Getting into the horse stance was Li Fan's first requirement for the Martial Arts Society members. Although his modified version of Seven Heroes Force could improve their physiques, the basics still needed to be practiced. For a martial artist, the lower body was very important. This was also why when he first started learning martial arts, Muronging asked him to do the horse stance every day in class. There was no quick way to master martial arts. Li Fan was already considered to have improved very quickly, but not everyone was like him, possessing a pure young body. The society originally had a total of 150 members, but after 2 days of boring training, more than 70 had left. But Li Fan was not in a hurry. He strived for perfection. If they couldn't persevere, it was better to leave early. As for those with good physique, Li Fan would focus on training them. And this Li Tai actually came to ask to be his disciple, which surprised Li Fan a little. But he's a Korean. Li Fan's admirer was a little confused. So what if he's a Korean? Martial arts has no boundaries. Li Fan said straightforwardly, "In the future, I will open a martial arts school overseas and let the foreigners learn together. But if the foreigners learn it and become powerful, what should we do? Then train hard. Won't it be better if you're stronger than them and defeat them?" You're right, President," the admirer nodded and turned around to do the horse stance. After he left, Jiang Yuanyuan came over to join in the fun. "Io, isn't this Li Tai? What's up? Are you here to visit us?" "I'm here to acknowledge you as my master." Li Tai bowed to Li Fan, "I hope you can accept me as your disciple." First of all, it's not just a simple bow to accept a disciple in our country. Secondly, I no longer accept disciples. If you want to learn martial arts, I'll teach you. Really? Li Tai was a little excited. "I can learn martial arts from you?" "Sure." Li Fan pointed at the students who were doing the horse stance. "But it'll be a little boring at the beginning. You go do the horse stance first." "All right." Li Tai immediately nodded, "I will let you see my perseverance." With that said, he walked over without hesitation and squatted there with the other students. However, Li Tai had never practiced the horse stance before, so his squatting posture was not very accurate. Jiang Yuanyuan immediately walked over and kicked his shin. "Squat down a little more." Li Tai obediently complied. "Keep squatting. Keep squatting. Why are you like a girl? Are you afraid of pulling your balls? Why are you squatting so deep? Taking a shit? Raise it higher." "Yes, it's about right now. It's barely enough. Squat down properly, I'll come check you." Li Fan couldn't help but want to laugh. Jiang Yuanyuan, this girl, was too funny. Li Tai had just arrived, but he already went to throw down his horse stance. Speaking of which, the martial arts of the two of you are at least at the level of reaching the next level. Li Fan said to Jiang Fangfang, who was waving the 8-trigram saber at the side. "Yes." Jiang Fangfang nodded. "But I didn't practice martial arts seriously in high school. So, my martial arts fell behind a little. Otherwise, I should be able to reach the peak of perfection. The martial arts world's major sects have countless experts." Li Fan couldn't help but praise, especially the young talents of this generation. There are quite a few of them. "I hope that in a few years, the martial arts world will be able to reproduce the golden age of grandmasters walking everywhere and reaching the peak as many as dogs." Pfft, Jiang Fangfang was quite serious at first, but she was amused by Li Fan at once. What you said? Why don't I look forward to it at all? How can I not be serious? Chinese martial arts are declining, and I'm also working hard and worrying about all kinds of things. It's not easy for me. Li Fan looked like he was worried about the country and the people. Do you really want to open a martial arts club? Jiang Fangfang couldn't help but ask. Of course, otherwise I wouldn't have come to City G. Li Fan looked at the students who were training in front of him. But it's easy to say, but difficult to do. Look at these students here, I'm going to have a month of intensive training first. But after a month, I don't know how many of them will be left. Maybe quite a lot. You're just comforting yourself with this. Li Fan looked at the calluses on Jiang Fangfang's hands. I don't need to say how difficult it is to practice martial arts. You should know it yourself. It's indeed difficult to practice martial arts, but it's like sailing against the current. Once you reach the upper reaches, you'll naturally be able to swim freely. You're right, but how many people can swim against the current? Li Fan sighed. There are fewer and fewer people, so I want to pass on my martial arts to more people. It's good if one more person can swim up. We'll help you. Jiang Fangfang comforted Li Fan. Aren't you afraid that your family will criticize you too? Father only hopes that brother will inherit the family. Jiang Fangfang's face darkened. Your family is so fertile, isn't it? Triplets? Of course not. The two of us have the same father, but different mothers. Jiang Fangfang explained. Hey, why do you care so much about our gossip? Jiang Yuanyuan came over. Mr. President, you're still like a girl, interested in gossip. No matter what, you're all the core members of my club. Li Fan looked at Jiang Yuanyuan's mischievous look and couldn't help but scratch her nose again. Won't you let me show some concern? You're scratching my nose again. It's all gone. Jiang Yuanyuan slapped Li Fan's paw away. If your hand isn't honest, I'll chop it off. Then you'll have to defeat me first. If you teach me martial arts, I'll be able to defeat you. Aren't you from the 8 trigram school? Li Fan asked. Why do you still want to learn my martial arts? Because I think your martial arts are amazing. Every martial art is amazing. Li Fan reminded Jiang Yuanyuan. As long as you keep practicing, you'll be able to achieve something. I first practiced the simplest 5 animal frolics, but I persevered until the end. With some of my own creations, it became the current 7-hero fist. I heard that the 7-hero fist is one of the top 10 martial arts. Jiang Yuanyuan was still curious. I still want to learn. Oh, then let's spar. I'll see your foundation and then decide what kind of martial arts to teach you. Li Fan wasn't stingy and suggested. Chapter 10:20. You want us sisters to kill each other. Jiang Yuanyuan pouted and looked at Li Fan. Tell me, what are your intentions? If you don't spar, how can I judge your strength and bone structure? Li Fan smiled bitterly. If you want to learn, then be serious. You're good, watching 2 beauties fight. Jiang Yuanyuan crossed her arms and looked at Li Fan. You still have the heart of a thief, huh? What are you saying, Fangfang, what do you think? Li Fan asked for his sister's opinion. Sure. Jiang Fangfang agreed, I think we can give it a try. Okay, look, now it's 2 against 1, there's no point in objecting. Li Fan looked at Jiang Yuanyuan with some pride. Sister, you're not on the same side as me anymore. Aren't you the one who wants to learn? Then we should still maintain our girl's integrity. This is our girl's modesty. Then are you going to learn or not? Yes. Jiang Yuanyuan said and took a stance, both hands stretched out in front of her, looking at her sister. The surrounding club members couldn't help but look at these 2 beauties, knowing that they were also proficient in martial arts. It seemed like they would be able to broaden their horizons today. Please enlighten me. Jiang Fangfang cupped her hands at her sister, then used the 8 trigrams perplexing footwork. Even though there was a distance of 2 meters between them, she actually arrived in front of Jiang Yuanyuan in one step, and at the same time, sent a palm towards Jiang Yuanyuan's lower abdomen. But Jiang Yuanyuan wasn't weak either. She flipped to the side, jumped up, pressed down on her sister's shoulder, flipped in the air, and then sent a palm towards the middle of her back. Jiang Fangfang used the iron bridge, fell backward, stopped in midair, and simultaneously sent a palm strike behind her. Jiang Yuanyuan exchanged a few palm strikes with her sister, and Jiang Yuanyuan relied on the momentum of her palm strikes, forcing her sister to retreat. The two of them fought, a pair of beauties, and the fight was very erotic. And Li Fan observed for a while, almost figuring out the characteristics of their moves. Although they were both 8 trigram palms, Jiang Yuanyuan's moves were more flexible, and she liked all kinds of active attacks. However, Jiang Fangfang's attacks were more steady. Each of her moves was meticulous, and she had very few flaws. However, he was too calm and lacked the drive of a battle. The two sisters fought more and more fiercely, as if they were anxious to determine who was stronger. Alright, let's stop here. Li Fan had seen enough and asked the two sisters to stop. However, the two of them had already fought to the point where they didn't even recognize each other. This was the nature of martial arts competitions. Once they started fighting, it was very easy for things to go awry. The two of them weren't too far apart in strength. The more they fought, the angrier they became, and the more they wanted to fight. Jiang Yuanyuan was the first to be unhappy. She suddenly took 2 steps back, reached out, and took out 2 white jade fans from the bag hanging on the side. You use a fan? Jiang Fangfang raised her eyebrows. Fine, you force me to do this. As she said that, she kicked the shelf beside her. The 8 trigram saber that Li Fan bought was kicked up by her, and she grabbed it in her hand. Li Fan was a little surprised. These 2 girls had started to play with weapons. Jiang Yuanyuan's 2 fans were like iron fans. In her hands, she fanned, blew, hit, and occasionally threw them out. Using the fans as hidden weapons was very exciting. Jiang Fangfang's 8 trigram saber was also very good. She waved the saber around her body, as if forming an array, blocking Jiang Yuanyuan's attack. This kind of array seemed to be unable to even pour water into it. Even Li Fan wanted to give it a try. The 2 girls, one with the 8 trigram fan and the other with the 8 trigram saber, actually increased their strength a little. However, Jiang Yuanyuan could also use the fan as a weapon. This also made Li Fan very interested. I have accepted 2 awesome members. Li Fan wanted to secretly be happy. This was indeed too awesome. To be able to randomly pick up a treasure, it was really amazing. Alright, stop fighting. Li Fan wrapped his voice with his true chi and shouted. With a lion's roar, the 2 girls were blown away, and their attacks were blocked. Jiang Yuanyuan was a little unhappy. Why did you stop us? We haven't finished fighting yet. The 2 of you can fight for a year. Li Fan reminded them, the 2 of you understand each other's moves too well. That's true, Jiang Yuanyuan agreed with Li Fan's words. I know in my heart what move sister is going to use. And, then let's not fight. Jiang Fangfang casually threw the 8 trigram saber back to the knife shelf. However, Li Fan always felt that the 2 of them were still hiding something. A trump card was not something that could be casually taken out. Alright, now it's your turn, right? Jiang Yuanyuan asked, what do you think the 2 of us should learn? If it's Yuanyuan, you should be more steady. Li Fan thought for a moment and then said, you can learn a bit of my bear strike technique to train your lower body. Bear strike technique? That doesn't sound good. But it's useful. Li Fan waved at Jiang Yuanyuan, come over here and attack me. Full power. Jiang Yuanyuan seemed to be a little excited. I like this. Jiang Yuanyuan smiled. She seemed to be really happy. She took a step forward and arrived in front of Li Fan. Then, she used the 8 trigram perplexing footwork and disappeared from Li Fan's sight, moving behind him. Before Li Fan turned around, Jiang Yuanyuan moved to the side again. She moved 3 steps in a row and then hit Li Fan's waist with her palm. Jiang Yuanyuan was indeed merciless. Her palm was like a knife, trying to poke Li Fan's waist. However, Li Fan stood there unmoved, allowing Jiang Yuanyuan's fingers to touch his waist. However, at this moment, Li Fan's hand grabbed Jiang Yuanyuan's wrist. Then, with a twist of his body, he lifted Jiang Yuanyuan up and threw her over his shoulder onto the ground. Before Jiang Yuanyuan could react, Li Fan's palm had already landed in front of her cheek and stopped there. The wind from his palm blew on the ground, causing it to tremble slightly. The essence of the bear strike technique is to be as immovable as a mountain. Li Fan told her, as the saying goes, move like a fleeing rabbit and be as still as a virgin. This is the true way of practicing martial arts. Do you understand? Humph, you're bullying me. Jiang Yuanyuan laid on the ground and stretched out her hand, pull me up. Li Fan pulled Jiang Yuanyuan's hand, but Jiang Yuanyuan suddenly used his strength to press down on Li Fan, pushing him to the ground. Then, she rode on Li Fan's body and looked at him triumphantly, do you see that? Humph. You lost. Really? Li Fan smiled. He slammed his palms on the ground and stood up straight. Jiang Yuanyuan was hanging on his body in shock. Chapter 10:21. Relying on the strength of his palms, he forcefully pulled his body up. And this time, Li Fan didn't even use his true qi. This was simply unbelievable. Li Fan's control of his body was really too good. Bear King raises cauldron. Li Fan grabbed Jiang Yuanyuan and threw her into the air. Then, when Jiang Yuanyuan couldn't control her body, he slapped her with his palm. Bear King seal. Li Fan roared, and then a palm imprinted on Jiang Yuanyuan's body. Jiang Yuanyuan was immediately sent flying. In a blink of an eye, she fell more than 10 meters away and fell to the ground. Li Fan had used his skillful force. Although Jiang Yuanyuan was sent flying, other than the pain in her butt, she didn't suffer any other injuries. So powerful. Jiang Fangfang couldn't help but praise him. But Jiang Yuanyuan was still a bit unconvinced. Humph, you bully me. The one who bullied me is you. You're riding me, aren't you going to take responsibility? Li Fan asked. Who the hell wants to take responsibility for you? Jiang Yuanyuan pouted at Li Fan, why don't I let my sister take responsibility for you? After all, we're sisters. Go to hell. I don't want to be impotent. Jiang Fangfang's joke could no longer be played. Do you want to try if I'm impotent? Li Fan looked at Jiang Fangfang as if he was demonstrating. I don't want to. Li Fan's face was covered with tears. Forget it. You guys continue to practice. You haven't taught me my method. Jiang Fangfang didn't forget her own benefits. Learn my crane strike technique. Li Fan said, your kung fu is too stable, but not aggressive enough. Crane strike can strengthen your defense, and at the same time, make your movements more graceful. Li Fan waved at her, come on, attack me. Okay. Jiang Fangfang nodded her head and raised her hand, but she didn't rush to attack. Instead, she chose to observe Li Fan's movements. Alright, then I'll attack you. As Li Fan spoke, his feet bounced off the ground. His body immediately made 3 swallows in the air and quickly arrived in front of Jiang Fangfang. Jiang Fangfang had already locked onto Li Fan. She immediately raised her hand and slammed it towards Li Fan's vital point. However, Li Fan's hand pressed down on Jiang Fangfang's wrist. His figure was extremely graceful as he floated up once again. Then, with a crane's beak hand, he quickly poked the acupuncture point on Jiang Fangfang's left shoulder. Jiang Fangfang's left shoulder immediately went numb, and her left hand temporarily lost feeling. But she did not panic. Her right palm moved upwards, aiming for Li Fan's chin. Li Fan's body slid backwards, dodging Jiang Fangfang's palm. Jiang Fangfang was unwilling to give up. She took a step forward and followed up with a palm strike. But Li Fan slid out again. He kept retreating against Jiang Fangfang's palm. No matter how hard Jiang Fangfang pushed, she could not touch Li Fan's clothes. Li Fan, on the other hand, had locked onto Jiang Fangfang's weak point. The white crane nodded and hit Jiang Fangfang's acupuncture point. But Jiang Yuanyuan's palm had unknowingly stuck onto Li Fan's arm and pushed his move away. President, you're so powerful. It's too difficult to fight alone. Let's fight together. Jiang Yuanyuan winked at Li Fan. Sisters of one mind, their sharpness can cut through gold. Jiang Fangfang and she looked at each other, and then the two of them attacked together. Jiang Fangfang's numb left hand had also recovered. The two of them, one on the left and one on the right, continuously attacked Li Fan with Ba Gua Zhang. But what kind of person was Li Fan? Even if the two beautiful sisters attacked together, he could still handle it. Li Fan continued to use the crane's beak hand, slapping away the sisters' Ba Gua Zhang. But the sisters' coordination was very good. They once again displayed the move that they used to deal with the Taekwondo club. Jiang Yuanyuan's palms struck out together, slapping towards Li Fan's head. Li Fan separated his palms and once again pushed away her attack. But Jiang Fangfang was already squatting on the ground. Both her hands grabbed onto Li Fan's calf, and then lifted it up. Li Fan's body was slanted, but he took advantage of the situation and leaped backwards. He somersaulted in the air and landed on the ground. But the two beautiful sisters, one in front and one behind, attacked Li Fan together. Li Fan's body was in midair. No matter where he landed, the beautiful sisters Ba Gua Zhang would be waiting for him. But when Li Fan's palms met the two sisters' palms, the two sisters could not withstand Li Fan's strength and half knelt on the ground. Li Fan used the force to slide out and landed on the ground. Who dares to bully my brother-in-law? Before Li Fan could remind the two sisters, an angry girl's shout came from outside. Following that, a slim and petite figure stood outside, holding a ruler in her hand, and directly lifted it up. It was just a ruler, but it swept out a sword energy. This sword energy scraped the ground as it flew over, tearing a crack in the ground. And Li Fan quickly flew up with a kick, breaking this sword energy. Humph, you coquettish sluts. Don't even think of hitting my brother-in-law. Murong loved to stand at the door. Li Fan broke out in a cold sweat. This little girl, she really came. Brother-in-law. The little girl ran over and bumped into Li Fan's embrace, acting like a spoiled child. The surrounding male students drooled. This Li Fan, where did he get so many girls, and even a beautiful sister-in-law, this bastard, he was too envious. How could he let other men live? Hey, who are you calling a coquettish slut? Jiang Yuanyuan was unhappy. She raised her true qi and looked at the little girl acting like a spoiled child in Li Fan's embrace. Humph, I'm talking about you guys. You actually dare to bully my brother-in-law. Murong loved to make a face at Jiang Yuanyuan. If brother-in-law did not help you guys would have died under my Murong sword energy. Murong sword energy? Jiang Fangfang carefully looked at her. You are Murong Ying's sister. Of course. Murong loved to smile as she looked at Li Fan. Brother-in-law, since my sister broke off the engagement with you, then I can marry brother-in-law. You, calm down. Li Fan had a headache. This girl was too impulsive. Her sister was not here to care about her, she wanted to fly. You little girl, so annoying. Jiang Yuanyuan was all sorts of unhappy, glaring at Murong. Go away, this is our martial arts society, we don't welcome outsiders. Isn't it just G University? You can easily get in. Murong loved to hug Li Fan tightly like a mother hen, not letting other women get close. I'm warning you guys. Brother-in-law belongs to my Murong family. If any of you women dare to get close, I will never let you off. There was a woman who wanted to look for brother-in-law, humph, and I caught her. There was a woman who wanted to look for me. Li Fan quickly asked, who was it? I'm not very familiar with her, a girl with the surname Lu, something Nan. Your sister. Where did you catch her? Chapter 1022. For the first time, Lu Xinan wanted to cry. She was with several other girls in a small, stuffy room. She looked at the women around her warily. They were all wearing heavy makeup and waiting for the night's business. An old woman who looked like a monster walked in. Seeing Lu Xinan sitting in the corner, she stepped forward and held her hand, as if to comfort her. Nan, I'm telling you, everyone has their first time. Believe me, I've been through it. With your looks, you can definitely be a red card. In a few years, you can earn enough money to buy a house. Of course, it's impossible to buy a house in G City, but you can buy one at home. You can also buy a good car, and then find a man who looks good to marry. He'll be the one to take over. See, isn't that good? Get lost. Lu Xinan slapped the woman's hand away. Don't come near me. Yo. You're quite hot-tempered. The old woman sneered. Now that you're here, it's not up to you. How dare you? Lu Xinan glared at them with her beautiful eyes. Do you know who I am? Aren't you an undocumented immigrant? You don't even have an ID. The old woman found Lu Xinan in a shabby little hotel. At that time, she stayed there for 3 days and almost fainted from hunger. She didn't have any ID with her. What kind of background could this kind of woman have? She must be an undocumented immigrant who was abducted when she was a child. This woman was indeed quite beautiful, although the clothes she was wearing at that time were very shabby. The old woman brought her to her shop, bought her some food, and brought her to her shop. It would be a waste if she didn't use such a beautiful face to make money. I'm the Missy of the Lu Group. The president of the Red Dragon Society. If you dare to touch me, I'll raise this place to the ground. Io, why don't you say you're the Queen of England? The old woman laughed. Look at yourself. You don't look like the Missy of a group. And what Red Dragon Society? What is that? Look at the clothes you're wearing. I bought them for you. If you know how to be grateful, then honestly accept customers. I will help you arrange a few rich big clients. I guarantee that you will not lose out. If you don't like it, I'll find a few street laborers to beat you to death, you little rascal. As she spoke, she grabbed Lu Xinan's hand. Hurry up and follow me. Serve your customers well. Lu Xinan bit the old woman's arm, causing her to scream in pain. Then, she swung her hand and slapped Lu Xinan's face, causing Lu Xinan's mouth to bleed. Little Lang Bai. I think you're tired of living. Just you wait, let Manager Wang come in and teach you a lesson. With that, she stormed out of the door. A woman in a red dress walked over and squatted beside Lu Xinan, handing her a towel. Wipe your mouth. Lu Xinan slapped her hand away. Why bother, now that you're here, it's not up to you. Stay away from me, I think you're dirty. Lu Xinan scolded. Little Lang Bai, what are you? You deserve to be fucked. You think you're a good person, you're just a whore. The surrounding women all scolded, but the woman in red had a better temper. She still tried to persuade her. None of the women here are born to want to sell themselves. It's all for the sake of living. If our family's environment is good, how many would be willing to do this? Get lost, don't talk reason with me. When I get out of here, I'll flatten this place. Lu Xinan's current state of mind was very explosive, and the woman in red said another sentence to her. What's the use of you scolding so fiercely? You'll only be taught a worse lesson. Lu Xinan's state of mind was still exploding, but after hearing the woman in red's words, she suddenly calmed down. This woman was right, what's the use of exploding my state of mind, I'll only get beaten up. I'm Lu Xinan, the big boss of the Red Dragon Society, in charge of such a large group, such a large organization. How could I be bullied by this kind of small brothel? Lu Xinan's brain quickly turned, she was thinking of a way to deal with it. Seeing that she had calmed down, the woman in red didn't try to persuade her anymore. Not long after, a tall man walked in, gave the other women a thumbs up, over his shoulder, and pointed at the door behind him. "You, be careful, don't resist, he's very cruel," the woman in red reminded her in her ear, then walked out with the other girls. "Little girl, let Grandpa serve you first." This was Manager Wang, who was responsible for testing the skills of the female technicians. If the service of the female technicians was not good, they would not be able to serve the customers. However, for this new woman, it didn't matter if she was good or not. Because she was beautiful enough, as long as she knew how to light a fire, she would be able to satisfy the customers. "Serve Grandpa well, Grandpa will be gentle to you." Manager Wang smiled, the scar on his face twitched. "Got it." Lu Xinan looked wronged. Don't hit me, I'm afraid of pain." "Ha ha ha, fine, as long as you serve me well, Grandpa promises not to hit you." The man laughed, then reached out his hand, trying to grab Lu Xinan. I'll help you." Lu Xinan took the initiative. "I'll help you take off your clothes." "You're quite good, I thought you would be hard to handle." Come, quickly taste this Grandpa's lethal weapon." Manager Wang stood there, letting Lu Xinan walk over, reach out her hands, and slowly undid his belt. Lu Xinan took off Manager Wang's underwear, pulled it down to his calf, then stood up, both of her hands on Manager Wang's neck. That small cherry mouth seemed to want to kiss Manager Wang. Manager Wang was waiting to enjoy, but at this time, Lu Xinan suddenly raised her leg, her thigh heavily hit Manager Wang's lethal weapon. Manager Wang screamed, directly kneeling on the ground. Lu Xinan pulled out a dagger from Manager Wang's pants, and ruthlessly stabbed Manager Wang's temple. Manager Wang immediately collapsed and died. Lu Xinan struggled to pull out the dagger, used his clothes to wipe the dagger clean, and then walked out of the room. Those women were still standing outside the door, some were putting on makeup, some were smoking, and some were spraying perfume. They saw Lu Xinan with a bloody face, holding a dagger, walk out of the room, and were shocked. Lu Xinan made a shushing gesture to them. Dead people." A woman looked into the room and screamed in fright. "Incompetent fellow." Lu Xinan spat, turned around, and ran toward the door. Chapter 1023. Lu Xinan hurriedly runs out. The gate is right in front of her. She will soon escape from here. But at this time, a lot of big men suddenly follow behind her. That old woman is panting and running at the back while cursing. Catch her. Don't let her escape. The gate is right in front." Lu Xinan's eyes are burning with hope. But at this time, a big man is standing at the gate. He directly locks the gate and sneers at Lu Xinan. Lu Xinan frowns. Without hesitation, she rushes forward and stabs the big man's chest with her dagger. But that big man slaps away Lu Xinan's dagger and then kicks Lu Xinan's stomach. Lu Xinan somersaults and hits the wall behind her. The pain makes it difficult for her to breathe. She can't stand up for a long time. "No. I can't fall down." Lu Xinan says to herself, if she falls down, then everything is over. "Little girl, you still want to run after killing someone. I'll skin you alive." The old woman rushes over and wants to give Lu Xinan another kick. While Lu Xinan is dizzy. Her vision turns black as she kneels there. In her darkened vision, she saw that the locked iron door suddenly flew out as if it had exploded, and the door knocked away several burly men. Two figures walk in, a man and a woman. A familiar man. When Lu Xinan sees him, her mood finally relaxes. She heavily falls to the ground and fainted. Li Fan stands at the door with anger in his eyes. "Look at what you've done." He is reprimanding the beautiful girl beside him. "I didn't do it on purpose. I just wanted to monopolize brother-in-law." Murong pouts. "I don't want to give you to another woman, don't mess around next time." "I'll pretend that I don't know you, okay?" I know I'm wrong. I won't dare to do it again." Murong hurriedly apologizes. Her brother-in-law is really angry this time. Where did this brat come from? How dare he cause trouble here? The old woman calmed herself down from her shock. He was just a little brat, yet he dared to come here and act cool. Although he didn't know how he opened the door, he was dead meat. Go, remove his legs. The old woman shouted, and 3 burly men carrying watermelon knives pounced on Li Fan like wolves and tigers. Li Fan's body suddenly disappeared, and the 3 people's watermelon knives slashed the air. The 3 burly men were stunned. They didn't understand what was going on. Where is he? Where did he go? Where did he go? At this time, Li Fan appeared beside Lu Xinnan and gently hugged her in his arms. It's okay, I'm here to pick you up. Lu Xinnan slept quietly in Li Fan's arms, as if death would never come as long as Li Fan was there. Brother-in-law is angry. Murong's voice suddenly sounded. The 3 burly men turned around and saw the beautiful little girl standing in front of them. The little girl smiled sweetly. The 3 people were infected by her smile and couldn't help but smile. But in the next second, the heads of the 3 of them flew into the air. Their heads were dragged by a few threads, and they flew in all directions, accompanied by fresh blood. Sorry, you all must die. Heavens, heavens, the surrounding people screamed and couldn't believe their eyes. That little girl, how did she take off 3 people's heads? Demon, demon. The old woman was stunned. She took out a small pistol from her pocket and was about to shoot at Murong. But a thin steel wire suddenly wrapped around the old woman's hand. Then, the old woman's hand changed direction and aimed at one of her men. Bang! A gunshot sounded, and one of the men lay in a pool of blood. The rest of the men were frightened. Why did the general manager hit their own people? No, it's not me. The old woman was about to cry. She pulled the trigger again and killed several of her men until she ran out of bullets. Demon, you are a demon. The old woman cried. You can go and accompany them now. Murong said and moved her finger. The old woman saw the objects around her falling down rapidly. The scenery seemed to be spinning. No, it's not the scenery that's spinning, it's her head that flew up. Hee hee, brother-in-law, did I do well? Murong returned to her cute appearance. Squatting beside Li Fan, she smiled sweetly at Li Fan as if asking for credit. Li Fan suspected that if she had a tail, she would be wagging it at him. Not bad. Li Fan reached out his hand and touched her head, but next time, you should be more efficient. Isn't it good to kill this old woman instantly? Hee hee, I like the feeling of control and teasing. Murong smiled innocently. As long as you're happy. Li Fan patted his head again, let's go back first. Remember to apologize to Lu Xinnan. Okay, I'll listen to brother-in-law. As long as brother-in-law is not angry. Let's go. The 2 of them took Lu Xinnan and quickly left the place. Not long after, the police surrounded this place. But other than destroying a brothel, they found nothing. Li Fan. Lu Xinnan slowly opened her eyes and found a girl sitting by her bed, fiddling with her mobile phone. Lu Xinnan's heart turned cold. She subconsciously looked for the dagger but found herself naked. You're awake. Murong was playing an online game. Without raising her head, she said, I'm sorry about last time. I knocked you out and threw you away. I didn't expect you to be caught as a prostitute. But you can't blame me. Who told you to be so beautiful? That's why they had evil thoughts. You. Damn it. Lu Xinnan angrily looked at Murong, I must kill you. Murong's little girl. I advise you to give up on this idea. Whether it's force or family background, I'm different from my sister. I'm different from my sister. I'm more direct when it comes to my rivals in love. What do you want to do? Lu Xinnan asked, if you have the ability, kill me here. That won't do. You're brother-in-law's little pet. If I kill you, brother-in-law will be angry. I don't want brother-in-law to be angry. So, let's shake hands first. Although I'm not willing. Little girl, you're really annoying. Lu Xinan was also an underworld lady. But this time, she was threatened by another little girl. This was simply a great humiliation. One day, I'll return the humiliation you've given me twofold. Okay, I'll wait. Chapter 1024. Eldest Miss, you're finally back. Yu Feng stood in front of the Bentley and bowed to Lu Xinan, who had changed back into her gorgeous clothes. We've searched the whole of G City, but we couldn't find any news of you. Useless. Lu Xinan gave Yu Feng a slap. I am sorry, please punish me, eldest miss, you're still useful now, we'll talk about your punishment later. Lu Xinan snorted coldly, return to a city. Eldest miss, aren't you going to look for Li Fan? Before that, there's something else I need to do. Lu Xinan sighed in her heart. She needed to increase her strength, otherwise she wouldn't be able to win back Li Fan. She didn't expect that after Muronging left, another Murong's love appeared. That was enough, this also proved her own helplessness. Lu Xinan hated this. Whatever she wanted, she would definitely be able to fight for it. Whatever she got from charity was trash. Li Fan's value was worth improving and fighting for. Eldest miss, your private jet has been repaired and can be transferred over anytime. Alright. Lu Xinan nodded, let's go home. Yes, eldest miss. Li Fan glanced at the text message. Lu Xinan is finally back, Li Fan heaved a sigh of relief. Xia Ho also followed him home. The girls had finally returned. He still had a lot of things to do in G University. It was indeed troublesome with them around. Li Fan ran his martial arts society while attending classes. After a month of training, there were only 40 people left in the martial arts society, and they were still struggling. Most of the remaining people had left. After all, the martial arts society's training intensity was much higher than other societies. Alright, the remaining people are at least strong-willed. Li Fan stood in the classroom and looked at the people in front of him. Lu Wanner and Lin Yuhsan were also among them, but Lin Yuhsan was not interested in practicing martial arts, while Lu Wanner was very interested. Especially since Lu Wanner had been practicing yoga, some basic training was not too difficult for her. Is today a class for advancement? Jiang Yuanyuan was very smart and immediately understood. Of course, you've been training for a month. I'm afraid you're already looking forward to real ancient martial arts. Of course. Lu Wanner quickly nodded. I've been looking forward to it for a long time, but can we really learn it? Sure. Li Fan nodded. He stretched out his left hand, and a mass of true qi slowly condensed in his palm, slowly forming into a ball. The balloon kept spinning and was then thrown out by Li Fan. Bang! A wooden stake that was erected at the side was immediately snapped in half by the balloon. Wow! The club members cried out in surprise and applauded. President, you're too cool. Li Fan's admirers shouted one after another. There were also a few remaining female club members who were also throwing flirtatious glances at him. Humph! Jiang Yuanyuan snorted twice. Li Fan said that you're also a very powerful martial artist. Do you know such a move? Lu Wanner asked Jiang Yuanyuan, who was sitting cross-legged at the side. Humph. She doesn't know. Jiang Fangfang said from the side, we all don't know. Releasing true qi is a very profound skill. Actually, it's not profound at all. It's just a kind of control over true qi. Li Fan smiled, what I'm going to teach you is a simplified version of the Seven Heroes Fist. It's a simplified version of the Seven Heroes Force. The Seven Heroes Fist can train your physique, and the Seven Heroes Force can adjust your breathing and nourish your qi. If you start training now, those who are fast can reach my level in a month and those who are slow can reach my level in a year. Impossible. Jiang Yuanyuan couldn't believe it, to release true qi, you need to at least reach the peak of strength. Can you reach this level in a year? Of course not. It's just that my true qi control ability is very easy to learn. I don't need to train to such a high level. Li Fan explained, because my kung fu uses qi to nourish people, and then uses people to cultivate qi. Internal and external techniques complement each other, and you can reach the level I just used. Is it difficult to train? A student couldn't help but ask. It's not difficult, but the 7 Heroes Fist has a total of 7 fist techniques. It's impossible for you to train all of them. I suggest that you choose one that you like, or one that suits you, and then refine it. It'll have a better effect. Right now I have 2 disciples. No, 3. They all chose one of them to study in depth. What are the 7 gates? Although Jiang Yuanyuan had heard of the 7 Heroes Fist, she didn't study it in depth. It's Tiger Strike, Bear Strike, Ape Strike, Deer Strike, Crane Strike, Toad Strike, and Snake Strike. Jiang Fangfang was very familiar with them. The 2 of us are learning Bear Strike and Crane Strike, which represent physique and grappling respectively. There's also elegance and defense. Fangfang is right. Li Fan nodded, these are the 7. As for the remaining ones, Tiger Strike represents bravery and continuous attacks, Ape Strike represents agility and movement, Deer Strike represents endurance and kicking. Toad Strike and Snake Strike are my creations, which represent true chi and defense and counterattack respectively. It sounds very powerful. The club members couldn't help but discuss. Only Li Tai, the Korean, was the quietest. He had been silently practicing according to Li Fan's method. You can choose your own path, but the internal strength won't change. Start with the breathing technique and slowly train. It sounds like yoga. Lu Wanair muttered, it's just breathing practice. The way of breathing is different. Li Fan smiled, everyone follow my rhythm, I'll teach you how to practice. Li Fan taught them the breathing technique that he had learned. After practicing for a while, Lu Wanair couldn't help but ask, is it really effective? Don't you feel anything? Li Fan asked with a smile, do you feel like your breathing is smoother and the turbid air in your body is pulled out? It feels better. Is this the effect of the breathing technique? Yes. Li Fan nodded, this breathing technique can train your lungs, allowing you to absorb oxygen more effectively. Remember, most of the power of a martial fighter comes from the power of burning oxygen. In simple words, it's energy. The way we humans absorb energy is very simple, by inhaling oxygen and taking in food. Taking in food is a fixed consumption, only inhaling oxygen is a way that can be done at all times. As long as you follow my method, you can definitely cultivate your own energy. Li Fan taught them the first step of the mental cultivation method, breathing. 3 days later, he publicized the mental cultivation method for the club members to practice. 1 week later, due to their different talents, everyone had different improvements. Li Fan stood in the classroom, looking at the people in front of him, come, I want to test your strength. Chapter 1025. Although humans were born equal, they all had different innate talents. In Li Fan's martial arts club, there was also the difference between mediocre and outstanding members. Li Fan stood in the classroom, inspecting the training progress of more than 40 club members. According to the normal way of practicing martial arts, one should first practice external force to strengthen the body to a certain extent before practicing internal force. However, Li Fan was the opposite. He first absorbed more than 10 years of internal force from Murong Ying, and then trained his external force under Murong Ying's training. This kind of unique conditions, coupled with Li Fan's pure yang body, allowed him to practice external force faster and more smoothly. Therefore, Li Fan used this method to train his club members. First awaken the true qi in their bodies, and then let them become stronger. Using internal force to stimulate physical strength was a quick way to achieve success. Li Fan checked around and found that most of the club members were still at the most basic stage of internal force. A few of them could only feel a flow of qi circulating in their bodies, but they could not grasp it and needed to continue training. There were also some who could control a little bit of true qi and release it to their fingertips. This talent was already very good. Is that so? Lu Wanner opened her palm in front of Li Fan. On top of that beautiful palm, there was an oval ball of true qi the size of an egg slowly rotating. Huh? Li Fan was a little surprised. You're improving very fast. In such a short time, she could already feel true qi, and could even circulate it to such a level. It was really amazing. Is it considered qualified? Lu Wanner asked. Of course it is. Li Fan could not help but speak his mind. To be honest, I'm still a little surprised. Your ability to understand in this aspect is quite strong. I told you it's because of yoga. Lu Wanner was a little proud. I've been practicing breathing techniques for a long time. Is that so? Li Fan thought for a moment. It was probably the Indian yoga, which had the effect of nourishing qi in the breathing. Tai, how's your training going? Li Fan walked towards the Korean student. Although Li Tai had cultivated morality before, he could not release it. He could only use it to strengthen his body. Yes, I have a feeling. Li Tai raised his index finger, and there was a grain-sized gas revolving on it. It's already very good. Li Fan nodded. After all, your previous training method is already deeply ingrained. If you learn my method now, it will be a little strenuous in the early stages. Li Fan comforted Li Tai, but the more you practice, the smoother it will become. Hee, why do I feel like you're a multi-level marketer? Jiang Yuanyuan was playing with a ball of energy at the side. After a few more treatments, there will be better results, right? Loquacious. Just bored. Jiang Yuanyuan sighed. Look, I can even release my true qi. I'm still far from it. Tisk, can you do better? Jiang Yuanyuan said as she stretched out both her hands. There was a ball of energy on both her hands, and it was the size of a football. Lu Wan, and Li Tai looked at her enviously. This woman was amazing. Although Jiang Fangfang did not like to show off as much as Jiang Yuanyuan, her level was almost the same as her sister. There is no limit to martial arts. Li Fan smiled. So, no matter how strong you are, you have to put away your arrogance. As he finished speaking, he stretched out his right hand, and a ball of energy condensed on top of his palm. At first, it was only the size of a grain of rice, then it expanded to the size of an egg, and then to the size of a football, but it still continued to expand. Soon, the members of the club were shocked. Li Fan raised his hand above his head, and an indescribably huge ball of energy appeared on top of his head. If it continued to expand, the whole classroom would be crushed. Li Fan contracted the ball of energy again. He did not release the power of the ball of energy, but forcefully compressed it. Soon, an egg-sized ball of energy condensed in his hand, but it was black and spinning, and there seemed to be thunder and lightning around it. Even Jiang Yuanyuan could feel such a strong power. That black ball of energy was so terrifying, and it contained a power that she could not resist. But, scary, this man was amazing. For us martial artists, power is a weapon. If we are too arrogant, the weapon will hurt us instead. As Li Fan said this, he reached out and crushed the ball of energy. Stay humble, don't forget. Li Fan glanced at the club members. You guys are the same. The 7 Heroes Fist that I teach, after you guys learn it, it will not only strengthen your body. So, everyone, remember, if any of you want to do evil, no matter where you go, I, Li Fan, will personally kill you. Li Fan was not joking. Everyone present felt a chill down their spine. The club is running well now. Lin Yuhsan had no interest in practicing martial arts. Her biggest wish was to use her brain to help Li Fan. Li Fan had countless experts around him, so what he needed the most was a brain. After all, his other brain had already been sent to the Li family island. According to this development, we should have hope of establishing a martial arts center. Lin Yuhsan listed all the data. The martial arts center will probably lose money for a period of time in the initial stage, but with the current escort agency, it is completely affordable. The data is good. The club was indeed a part of Li Fan's martial arts center, like a simulation test. But every step needs to be taken carefully. I have already chosen the location of the martial arts center. Lin Yuhsan helped Li Fan find out the details. Murong AI has already gone there to talk to the agent. What? Li Fan was shocked. You're asking Murong AI to go there? Are you crazy? She's not a child anymore. Lin Yuhsan shrugged. She volunteered, and I let her go, seeing that she was full of confidence. You. What are you thinking? Li Fan did not know what to say. This girl, can't you trust her a little? You should handle this personally. Stop it, I still have classes, I can't just leave like that. Lin Yuhsan rolled her eyes at Li Fan. Don't forget, we are still students. Studies are important too. With your ability. You should have finished your studies by yourself, right? That's true, but I've been studying psychology recently. Lin Yuhsan explained, to complete a bachelor's degree, you have to follow the course rules. G University does not allow you to complete it in advance. So, I'm going to do a master's in psychology first. What a pervert. Chapter 1026. Murong AI is sitting on the sofa in the agent's office, looking at some brochures for houses. Miss Murong, this is your family's adult here. The agent's girl is quite pretty, but compared to Murong AI, she pales in comparison. Why are you looking for my family's adult? Murong AI furrowed her brows, slightly displeased. Are you looking down on me? Can't I rent a house because I'm young? No, I don't mean that. But the house you rent is quite big. Nonsense, we don't rent a house if it's not big, we run a dojo. Murong AI's attitude is not good at all. Do you want to sell the house or not? Sell, of course we will sell. Don't worry, we will arrange it for you. The beauty quickly takes out a few pictures of houses and shows them to Murong AI. You see, these houses are more in line with your requirements. The rooms are 3 stories, with a big yard. The rent is high and low. A good one costs 40,000 a month, and a bad one costs 27,000 a month. Not so good. Murong AI looks at a few. It doesn't match my brother-in-law's temperament at all. There are a few more here, please take a look. The agent does not dare to delay and quickly takes out a few better houses. Is your agent sick? If there are better houses, then quickly take them out. Murong AI impatiently said, can you take them out together? These are also trash. There is still the last one. The agent can feel Murong AI's imposing manner. She is probably a rich family's missy. Since that is the case, no matter how expensive the house is, she should be able to afford it. This one. The beautiful agent took out a set of houses from her collection and showed it to Murong AI. This house is quite good, the location is also very good, but because it is a historical site, it cannot be renovated, and the rent is expensive, so no one wants to rent it. Huh. This house is not bad. Murong AI takes a look at the picture and immediately likes it. This is the feeling. How much is the rent a month? 100,000. It's only 100,000, no problem. Murong made up her mind. This is it. This is more in line with brother-in-law's temperament. Then, when should we sign the contract? The agent hurriedly asked. For this property, you will need to pay at least 3 months' rent, and you will need to pay 1 month's rent as a deposit. It's okay, we can rent it for a year. Murong AI didn't even try to bargain and took out her card. This was the bank card that Lin Yuhsan had given her. Before she left, Lin Yuhsan had also repeatedly reminded her not to use Murong's family's money to rent the house. To Murong, 1,000,000 yuan was just a small amount of pocket money. However, she was afraid that her brother-in-law would be angry, so Murong could only obediently do as she was told. As long as her beloved brother-in-law was happy, Murong could do anything she wanted. Hee, hurry up and sign the contract. I can't wait to let brother-in-law see it. The agent was also overjoyed. She had just made a big deal. Just her share of the money was already a lot. When Li Fan's martial arts school was still in preparation, his club was getting better and better. Because many of the club members had developed some qi gene, it attracted more and more people to learn. As the number of their members increased, the number of the other clubs gradually decreased. How can this be? The president of the Kendo Club, Huang Yu, and the president of the Karate Club, Yu Zhuang, were sitting together, discussing this matter. Huang Yu was a fourth-year female student. The reason why she never left school for her internship was because she couldn't let go of the club. Yu Zhuang was just a third-year student, but his martial arts was not low. He added some of his own ideas to his karate, which was fast in training and strong in actual combat. Therefore, he was liked by many students. Among the three clubs, the karate club had always been the strongest. However, he didn't expect that one day, his karate club would be left with less than 10 members. The kendo club was even worse. They only had 7 members left. If this continued, they would even lose the big classroom. We must take back what we have lost with our own hands. Huang Yu was a radical. She held her wooden katana and said angrily. But Li Fan is now in school. He is like the sun in the sky. Even Kim Yunkwang was defeated by him. The two of us are no match for him. If we go there rashly, I'm afraid we will be humiliated. Yu Zhuang's mind became clearer. He couldn't help but sigh. Isn't Chinese kung fu all showy but impractical? Where did a qigong master come from? If I hadn't seen the video of Li Fan fighting with Kim Yunkwang, I would have thought he was a liar. When I was practicing kung fu, my master told me that there were some real masters in China. Huang Yu couldn't help but recall, but after traveling in China for a year, he didn't find any other kendo masters. It was a pity. I thought my master only told me to keep a low profile. I didn't expect that I would really meet such a master, and he is the same age as us. He seems to be a little younger than us. Yu Zhuang's words made Huang Yu burst into tears. Now that he said it, it seemed very miserable. If that's the case, I can only ask my master to come. Huang Yu thought for a long time and finally made a decision. If the old man takes action, Li Fan will definitely be defeated. If he is defeated, what does it have to do with us? Yu Zhuang couldn't help but ask. Of course it has to do with us. This means that Li Fan's kung fu is only a so-so. Our kung fu is the right way. That's still you. My kung fu still hasn't been put to use, Yu Zhuang continued to ask. Now that things have come to this, it doesn't matter if it's you or me. No matter what, kendo and karate are both Japan's martial arts. We can only survive if we combine them. That's right, Yu Zhuang sighed. The once glorious karate club had never expected to rely on the kendo club to survive. No matter what, defeating Li Fan is the most important thing. I'll ask my master to come over and let him teach Li Fan a lesson for us. But why do I feel that something is wrong? Yu Zhuang still felt that something was wrong. At that time, you will definitely be the vice president. Don't worry. Huang Yu patted Yu Zhuang's shoulder, I'm already a senior. Don't tell me you want to kick me down to vice president. It's not that. I feel that if we find someone to suppress China's martial arts. Is this good? Fuck, at this time, you're talking to me about national righteousness. Huang Yu glared at Yu Zhuang, if you don't want to, then withdraw. I won't force you. Don't. I'm definitely on your side. Martial arts and whatnot, just let it disappear along with the history books. Chapter 1027. Challenge. Li Fan was teaching the breathing technique to some new students. Hearing Jiang Yuanyuan talking to him, he immediately raised his head. Are you talking about the modern combat club? Where did such a club come from? It's the kendo club and karate club that merged. Jiang Fangfang added. She always had a good grasp of information. Interesting. Li Fan couldn't help but be a little moved. These two clubs actually joined forces. They're both big clubs. Why did they decide to join forces? Aren't they fighting every day? My dear President, You're so devoted to the club that you don't pay attention to the outside world. Jiang Yuanyuan couldn't help but laugh. What era are we in? Those 2 clubs are almost empty. Is that so? Li Fan sighed. Without the feeling of competition, it was a little boring. However, these 2 clubs were quite courageous. They actually issued a challenge to him. They weren't a bunch of cowards. How is the challenge? What's the format? Li Fan asked. It's a challenge tournament. Jiang Fangfang said, tomorrow, there will be an arena in the stadium. The winner will keep the club and the loser will have to disband their club. They're playing quite big. Li Fan nodded. President, do we accept the challenge? Is there a need to ask? Li Fan smiled, you guys go tomorrow. Maybe I won't even have the chance to fight. Okay, President, just watch the show. Can I go and try? Lu Wanner practiced for a while and made some progress. She was eager to try and couldn't help but ask Li Fan. Sure. Li Fan nodded, you've made a lot of progress recently, but don't be too proud. I'm actually criticized by a junior. Lu Wanner laughed. Li Fan blushed a little. In terms of martial arts, I should be considered senior sister's senior. That's right, senior. Lu Wanner also had a mischievous side. She had just mastered martial arts and was full of confidence. She always wanted to try it out. How's your Qigong practice? Li Fan asked. The president is going to check it himself? As Lu Wanner spoke, she suddenly ran a few steps forward. She was wearing white sportswear and black yoga leggings. Her perky buttocks and long legs were enough to capture one's attention. Lu Wanner's steps were light and graceful. She ran forward for about 2 meters before her feet suddenly kicked a few times and leaped onto the wall in front of her. Because he was wearing clean sports shoes, there were no footprints on the wall. Lu Wanner leapt up to a height of more than 3 meters, flipped on the spot, and landed steadily. How is it? As beautiful as a swallow. Li Fan couldn't help but praise, for a newcomer to have such a standard, it's already very impressive. That's good. I feel like you've protected your dignity. Lu Wanner heaved a sigh of relief. However, Li Taiyi is the one who has improved the most. Li Fan looked at Li Taiyi, who was practicing rushing thunder feet, and couldn't help but sigh. TSK. How can he improve as fast as me? Jiang Yuanyuan was unconvinced. I'm the one who improved the fastest in the club. Humph. Little girl, you're quite unconvinced. Your foundation is already high, how can Li Taiyi compare to you? That's true. Jiang Yuanyuan nodded in satisfaction. The little girl was very happy to be praised. Brother-in-law, the matter of the house has been settled. When will you come over to take a look? Li Fan received a message from Murong AI. The little girl was quite diligent in handling this matter. In addition, Murong AI also sent a photo. It was a beautiful courtyard house with a 5-story tower. The courtyard was lush and full of orange trees. In this season, the orange trees were lush with green leaves, making the courtyard look full of vitality. And in the middle of the courtyard was a small pond. There were some stone sculptures placed in the pond. It seemed to be the popular garden art of Suzhou and Hangzhou. This kind of ancient-style courtyard should be very old. A historical relic. This is the most suitable place to open a dojo. Good choice. When I'm done with the school, I'll go over and take a look. Li Fan also praised Murong AI. The little girl immediately sent a happy smiling face and a beautiful selfie. This girl really likes to show off. But after not seeing her for so long, the little girl's chest seems to have developed a little, although it can't be compared to her sister, it can be considered a small scale. When Li Fan looked at the photo, he casually clicked and accidentally set the photo as his phone's wallpaper. When Li Fan was about to change it back, he suddenly realized that the little beauty on the phone was quite pleasing to the eye. Li Fan thought for a moment and decided to keep it. Occasionally when he was tired, he could look at it to relax his mood. It was quite good. Huh? Why did you set sister-in-law as your phone's wallpaper? Jiang Yuanyuan suddenly snatched Li Fan's phone and looked at it. She winked at Li Fan. Mr. President, you're so evil. What nonsense are you imagining? It's not what you think. Li Fan quickly waved his hand, indicating that this girl was thinking too much. What am I thinking? President, can you explain? Don't mess around, or I'll be angry. Li Fan's eyes widened, indicating that he was about to be angry. Brother-in-law can't be teased at all. Jiang Yuanyuan pretended to say and even imitated Murong Ai's tone. But, I like this kind of brother-in-law the most. Don't mess around, I'm taking a photo of you. Don't worry, it's just a photo. I'll give you one. Jiang Yuanyuan said, took out her phone, fiddled with it, and then fiddled with Li Fan's phone. Okay, here you go. Take it. Li Fan took the phone, looked at it, and almost had a nosebleed. On the phone was a beautiful little girl, wearing a maid costume, with long blonde hair. But her lower body was naked, revealing her sexy buttocks. She was lying in the bosom of a devil statue, looking back at the camera with a smile. Because she was wearing a wig, it was hard for Li Fan to distinguish whether this was an older sister or younger sister. This is too bold. Li Fan could not help but ask. Idiot, this is called welfare. Jiang Yuanyuan rolled her eyes at Li Fan. In order to restore it perfectly, I took it for myself to appreciate. This kind of photo will never be shown to outsiders. Then. President, let's play a game, shall we? Jiang Yuanyuan used her hand to gently block Li Fan's phone screen, and then said, why don't you guess whether this is me or my sister? If you guess correctly, I'll give you this set of pictures, how about it? A total of 16 pictures, every picture will make your blood boil. Li Fan's blood is already boiling. This damn girl, she actually dared to challenge me. She's finished. Chapter 1028. Is second brother okay? During class, Wang Yang could not help but ask Zhao Yingjun next to him, why is he staring at his phone every day today? It's like he's lost his soul. He wasn't like this before. I don't know either. Zhao Yingjun shook his head. He said that Jiang Yuanyuan gave him a difficult problem and he's trying to decipher it. Second brother, I know a little about the 8 trigrams of Zhou Yi, so I'm good at deciphering it. Why don't I help you? Out of concern, Wang Yang asked Li Fan in a low voice. No need, no need. Li Fan quickly waved his hand and subconsciously put his phone away. If this wallpaper was seen by others, what would happen? Alright, then you can study it yourself. You're so stingy. I thought you had a treasure map on your phone. There was no treasure map, but there was one in the Pink Devil's den. Although the two sisters had different personalities and hairstyles, it was impossible to tell them apart just by looking at their expressions in the photo. It was hard to tell them apart just by looking at their butts. He could not possibly find these two girls and take off their clothes one by one to see who had the perky butts in the photo, right? Wouldn't that be acting like a hooligan? Li Fan felt that it was better not to do that, although his current behavior was not much different from acting like a hooligan. Li Fan took out his phone again and looked at the wallpaper on it, deep in thought. Who was it? Should he guess it? There was a 50% chance. As long as he guessed correctly, there were 16 sets of pictures. Li Fan was a little tempted. Today is the last day. Li Fan received a text from Jiang Yuanyuan, if you can't guess it, it'll be invalid after the deadline. Motherfucker. This damned girl, Li Fan smiled bitterly. She was definitely messing with him on purpose. It must be your sister. Li Fan did not know why, but he suddenly had an idea and sent a message to Jiang Yuanyuan on WeChat. Jiang Yuanyuan typed a series of ellipses and then said, You wasted your only chance. Say goodbye to this set of pictures. Li Fan was disappointed. He didn't expect that he had guessed wrong. But soon, Jiang Yuanyuan sent him a consolation prize. The maid was still naked. She was squatting there, holding a katana in her hand. Her expression was extremely seductive, and no one knew what kind of character she was cosplaying. I'm just trying to comfort you. Try harder next time. Should I guess who this is? Don't. I'm not going to play with you anymore. See you in PE class later, President Pervert. After Jiang Yuanyuan finished speaking, she really ignored Li Fan. Li Fan saved the photo and continued with Maja's class. Marx's philosophy was a compulsory course for every university student. It was also a compulsory course. Anyway, the beginning of the semester was an open book exam, so Li Fan wasn't worried about failing at all. Li Fan, after class, don't leave. Just as the class was about to end, Mr. Maja suddenly said something to Li Fan. Li Fan was baffled. I didn't provoke this old granny Maja, so why did she suddenly ask me to stay? I still have to go to the gym later. Today is the day I'm going to fight with the Modern Combat Club. Yuanyuan, the teacher is looking for me. Help me deal with the gym first. Li Fan had no choice but to send Jiang Yuanyuan a text. Jiang Yuanyuan quickly replied with an okay, followed by a cute smiley face emoticon. Are we waiting for you? Wang Yang asked when the bell rang. No need, you guys go back first. Li Fan waved his hand, if you want to watch the fun, go to the gym and reserve a seat. Of course, I'm going. Zhao Yingjun beamed, there are so many beauties in your martial arts club, how can I not go watch? Second brother, didn't you save us a VIP seat or something? Save my ass. I'm not the one who opened the gym. Hurry up and help me take my books. Li Fan put his textbooks in Xiang Yi's bag and stayed in the classroom, waiting for Mrs. Maja to talk to him. But after the old granny tidied up her lesson plans, she stood up and walked out of the classroom. Li Fan was a little surprised and quickly called out to Mrs. Maja. Teacher, didn't you want to talk to me? What the hell? The old granny turned her head and looked at Li Fan strangely. When did I want to talk to you? Just now, you told me to stay in the classroom after class. When did that happen? You must have slept too much. Next time, sleep less in class and learn more knowledge. The old granny shook her head as she walked out. Sigh, young people these days, what's going on? Li Fan was a little speechless. What the hell did this old granny do? Did she become muddle-headed with age? Besides, he didn't sleep in class either. He was solving puzzles. As Li Fan was about to leave, the classroom door was suddenly locked, as if someone had locked him in the classroom. And the windows in the classroom were also closing one after another. Who are you? Trying to act mysterious? If you have the guts, come out. Li Fan berated. And on a portrait hanging on the wall, a man wearing a flowery shirt and yellow pants suddenly walked down and appeared in front of Li Fan. What the hell? Li Fan was a little shocked. Such a fantasy thing. It can't possibly happen, right? Hello, Li Fan. The man in front of him sat in front of Li Fan and greeted Li Fan, the person who wants to talk to you is me. How did you come out from inside? Li Fan pointed at the portrait on the wall and then pointed at the man in yellow pants in front of him. Nice to meet you. Let me introduce myself. My name is Wang Luo. Which organization sent you to kill me? As Li Fan spoke, he raised his true qi. The tables and chairs around him were pushed away by his true qi. Don't be agitated. I am not here to find trouble with you. On the contrary, I am your friend. I am here to help you. As Wang Luo spoke, he placed both of his feet on the table and leaned on the chair. He looked very casual as if he was on vacation in Hawaii. Help me? What do you mean? Li Fan frowned. Before chatting with you, let me block a guy first. As Wang Luo spoke, he reached out his hand towards Li Fan and waved it outside the door. Mr. Yang's figure was pulled out of Li Fan's body, then he was thrown out of the door and locked outside. Li Fan could even hear Mr. Yang's unwilling roar. What is this situation? Cold sweat dripped down from Li Fan's forehead. Mr. Yang, didn't he merge with me? This person's spiritual power is too strong. He has been attached to your body for a long time. With my ability, I can only block him temporarily. Wang Luo shrugged his shoulders and took out his feet from the slippers. His 2 feet were rubbing against each other. This time, I will help you for free. Next time, I will have to charge. Chapter 1029. He and I should have already become one. Li Fan was a little confused. Ha, brother, you have only become one with your heart demon, but he is not your heart demon. Wang Luo laughed weirdly, but he has also become a part of you. You will probably be pestered by him forever in the future. He. Who are you? Li Fan clenched his fist and emitted his true qi. Wang Luo casually said, I can be anyone. I can be anyone. If you want, I can be your father. Li Fan kicked a table. This table instantly flew towards Wang Luo, but he used his leg to press it down. Little friend, your temper is too big. Do you want to buy a cucumber to calm down? You are only in your 30s, why are you acting like a chicken feather in front of me? Li Fan coldly laughed, if you continue to act like a fool, I don't mind beating you up. Ha ha ha, little fellow, your temper is really bad. Wang Luo laughed, I am a stubborn person. I like to be beaten up a few times before I feel better. Damn, this is the first time I have heard such a request. As Li Fan said that, he suddenly lifted his leg. With a downward kick, his leg was like a battle axe swinging down, chopping towards Wang Luo's head. But Wang Luo tilted his head slightly, allowing Li Fan's leg to land on his shoulder. Li Fan felt like he had kicked an iron plate. His calf was numb from the shock. Wang Luo smiled, you don't have enough strength. Is that so? Li Fan retracted his leg and took a step forward. At the same time, he pressed his palm onto Wang Luo's lower abdomen. Bear King Seal. Bang! Wang Luo's body flew out like a cannonball, smashing onto the wall above his head. His entire body was embedded in it, causing dust and gravel to fall down. Achoo! Wang Luo let out a loud sneeze. There is too much dust in your classroom. Hurry up and find someone to clean it up. Li Fan stood there with a frown on his face. It wasn't that he liked to frown, it was just that this Wang Luo was a little shocking. Although he did not use his full strength, the power of this palm was definitely enough to turn an ordinary person into meat paste. Wang Luo, on the other hand, was completely fine, except that his clothes were dirty. Aya, this pair of shorts is a souvenir that I brought back from Hawaii. It's all dirty. Forget it, it's 20 yuan a piece anyway. I'll just buy 2 more later. As Wang Luo spoke, she slowly pulled her body out from the wall and stretched her muscles. Aya, I haven't exercised for a long time. My body is getting old. Today was a good day to get some exercise. Li Fan, you're not doing your best. Did you not eat today? Before he could finish speaking, Li Fan suddenly appeared above his head. He then clasped his hand on his head and smashed his head into the ground. Wang Luo's entire head was embedded in it, but Li Fan wasn't done yet. He punched Wang Luo's neck, making his head more solid. After 3 consecutive punches from Li Fan, half of Wang Luo's body was about to be smashed into the ground. But Wang Luo stretched out his hands and pulled his upper body out, at the same time spitting out a mouthful of dirt. Pooey pooey pooey. It's fine if you didn't treat me to a meal, but you actually treated me to dirt. You're too stingy. Who exactly are you? Li Fan lifted Wang Luo up with one hand. This Wang Luo seemed to be weightless as Li Fan swung him around. Me, I'm a demon. Bullshit. Where did this demon come from? The world is big, there are all sorts of strange things. How do you know that I'm not a demon? Wang Luo laughed weirdly, don't you have a demon island in your mind? You're peeking into my mind. Li Fan's hand that was on Wang Luo's neck slowly tightened. Cough cough, why are you so agitated? Wang Luo coughed as he said, I'm different from others. My spiritual power is tens of times that of ordinary people. Thus, I can sense other people's thoughts. That's not what I want. Talent is probably the power that Satan gave me. You're a mutant. Li Fan threw Wang Luo out. Wang Luo pinched his neck and said, I'm not a mutant. Mutants are a group of people who were infected by the power of the demon island, causing their genes to mutate. Their genes are different from ordinary people. Thus, they are used by the governments of various countries for experiments. For example, America. They have always had a human modification plan. They want to continuously modify humans and turn them into existences close to God. A bunch of lunatics. Li Fan sneered. The power of mutants is like a nuclear bomb. Having it in your hands might not be a good thing. On this point, we aren't any better. Wang Luo laughed. He sat on the chair by the side and looked at Li Fan. China also has a holy war plan. New humans are about to be born, and you martial artists will become the target of elimination. What do you mean? Holy war plan. Li Fan was attracted by these 4 words. This Wang Luo's strength is not bad. It shouldn't be a baseless rumor. Do you want to know? Come back here tonight and look for me. Wang Luo didn't say it immediately. Don't you still have things to do now? I don't dare to disturb you, in case you beat me up again. Don't you like to be beaten up? But I don't like to be beaten up. Wang Luo rubbed his head. Forget it, I underestimated your strength. Anyways, I have said before that I am here to help you. If you believe me, I will meet you here at 8 p.m. If you don't believe me, then let's not meet again in the future. Why is it 8 p.m.? Before Li Fan could finish his words, his body suddenly shivered. Wang Luo, who was in front of him, disappeared. The classroom that was originally in a mess, unknowingly returned to its previous state. The surrounding windows were also opened, allowing the weeping willow outside to come in. Everything was the same as usual. It was as if Wang Luo had never appeared. Damn it, Li Fan felt a chill. He looked at his phone and slapped his thigh again. Fuck. It's too late. Li Fan ran towards the gymnasium. At this moment, Mount Wudong. The disciple in charge of receiving guests saw a youngster with a sword hanging on his back. He was calmly stepping on the stone steps and slowly walking up the mountain. The stone steps were quite steep. Without a bit of cultivation, it was impossible to climb up to the main hall of Mount Wudong. The disciple looked at the youngster carefully and found him somewhat familiar. Head escort Li, why are you here? What brings you to my Mount Wudong? The youngster didn't answer his question. Instead, he aimed his palm at the disciple's face and slapped him. The gymnasium. Yu Zhuang's body flew out heavily and laid on the ground. Lu Wan stood on the stage and looked at her palm in shock. Chapter 1030. Yu Zhuang stood up again, but his face was red. He had practiced martial arts for so long, but today he was defeated by a young girl who had just started practicing. This was too embarrassing. This was too shameful. How did this happen? Even Huang Yu was a little surprised. She knew that Yu Zhuang's martial arts were on par with hers. A famous person in Ji University was defeated by Lu Wan at this moment. Lu Wan had never practiced martial arts before. She had only practiced yoga. But she actually defeated a black belt expert. That was impossible, right? Only Li Fan stood there with a slight smile on his face. Lu Wan stood in the ring, panting slightly. She thought that it was a close call. She had defeated 4 opponents in a row. The first 3 were ordinary black belts. These black belts were very powerful. Although Lu Wan had learned martial arts for a few days, it was not enough to defeat them. But for some reason, Li Fan's voice kept ringing in Lu Wan's ears. He was giving her pointers on how to deal with her opponents. Lu Wan relied on his instructions to defeat Yu Zhuang in the end. Could it be that others could not hear Li Fan's voice? Could it be the telepathy that was mentioned in novels? Lu Wan was a little surprised. Huang Yu also could not sit still. She carried her katana and walked into the ring. Lu Wan, I really did not expect your martial arts to be so powerful. Huang Yu also knew Lu Wan, She was the head of the student council's publicity department. She even had her own personal guards. She was a famous person in the school. Who would not know her? She was just a weak girl in the past. Did she really become so powerful because she learned martial arts from Li Fan? Don't be afraid, senior. I'm here. Li Fan could see that Lu Wan was a little afraid. After all, before Li Fan came, Huang Yu had always been known as the strongest woman in Ji University. Lu Wan tried her best to calm down, waiting for Li Fan's command. Huang Yu gripped the wooden saber in her hand and looked at Lu Wan in front of her. No matter what, I'm still your senior sister. Should I let you have 2 moves first? Huang Yu's reputation and popularity were obvious. She was not bad looking either. Although she could not compare to Lu Wan, she was still somewhat pretty. In addition, her breasts were not small, her figure was slim, and she was full of heroic spirit. She was also quite popular in the school. Many of the boys in the school were her fans. On the stands behind her, there were also quite a number of fans, holding banners and cheering for Huang Yu. However, it was clear that Lu Wan had more fans. The front row of the grandstand was filled with her personal guards. They were holding banners and wearing uniforms as they cheered for Lu Wan. Zhao Yingjun was among them, claiming to be Lu Wan's fanatical fan. That won't be necessary, senior sister. Lu Wan was also quite proud. She would not allow others to look down on her. With Li Fan's help and the results of his hard work over the past few days, he could definitely defeat Huang Yu. Jiang Yuanyuan sat below, supporting her chin with her hand and pouting. She seemed a little dissatisfied. Damn it, it would be good if senior sister lost this round. Do you want to go on stage and fight? Yes, I really want to be in the limelight. Jiang Yuanyuan said to her sister. Did you forget what father said before we left? Who cares about him? He won't let us go to university. Jiang Yuanyuan curled her lips. That old feudal man is bent on marrying us off. So what if we are men? Why can Big Brother inherit the family business and we can't? Alright, stop talking. Yes, I won't say it, but I want to put on a show. When Jiang Yuanyuan thought of Murongying and Luo Shuewu, there was a somewhat different look in her eyes. I also want to become a strong woman like the chief of the martial arts circle. Then work harder. Jiang Fangfang knew that her sister would persist to the end once she had made up her mind, so she did not try to persuade her. However, it was a little difficult to become a strong woman like Murongying. What surprised her even more was Lu Wan. This senior sister who did not know any martial arts before had actually defeated 4 people in a row today, including Yu Zhuang. She wondered how she would perform against Huang Yu. Since it's like this, then I won't be polite. Huang Yu raised the wooden blade in her hand and aimed it at Lu Wan. She suddenly shouted and the wooden blade instantly appeared in front of Lu Wan, directly stabbing towards Lu Wan's throat. This was the blade technique of the island country, going straight for the vital point without the slightest bit of hesitation. Squat down. However, just before Huang Yu was about to attack, Li Fan had already seen through her move and made Lu Wan squat on the ground. Lu Wan squatted down, just in time to avoid Huang Yu's throat. White Crane gnawed, hit the bend of her leg. Lu Wan obediently did as she was told and prepared to stab the bend of Huang Yu's leg. Huang Yu lost her balance and fell down. Immortal Crane flapping wings. Lu Wan spread her hands up, just in time to block Huang Yu's wooden blade. White Crane gnawed, hit the neck. Lu Wan's fingers formed a bird's beak and hit Huang Yu's neck. Huang Yu's body completely fell down and fell to the ground. Lu Wan readjusted her state, 1 foot in front and 1 foot behind. She spread her hands and looked at Huang Yu, her whole body ready to attack. Crane strike. This was the fist technique that Li Fan taught her according to Lu Wanner's conditions. With such flexible body control, it would be a pity not to learn crane strike. As for Lu Wanner's attack, it carried a bit of chi. Although Huang Yu had trained her body, being hit a few times was still a bit painful. Her neck was still in pain, and a numb feeling filled her whole body. Huang Yu, come down. At this time, a young man's voice came from below the stage. Li Fan turned his head and saw a man wearing a kimono sitting on Huang Yu's team. This man was about 30 years old, and his aura was somewhat different. Li Fan had guessed before that this person might be here to help, and now it seemed that his guess was right. Master. Huang Yu dejectedly jumped down from the stage and bowed to her master. I'm too useless, your performance is already not bad. The opponent smiled at Huang Yu, then picked up Huang Yu's wooden blade, stepped on the wooden clogs, and slowly walked to the stage. I've always heard that your country has many experts, but I, Toyota Kojiro, have no chance to meet you. Today, I hope you can teach me a thing or two. Toyota. What the hell? Zhao Yingjun curled his lips. I'm also called Volkswagen. Looks like it's quite powerful. Wang Yang could not help but mutter. What's so powerful about the Japanese? Coming here is just to get beaten up. Zhao Yingjun waved his fist. This is a competition between our clubs, it's not good to find an outsider, right? Lin Yuhsan was the secretary of the student union, and she was in charge of this event on behalf of the student union. Seeing that the other party actually sent a Japanese over, she immediately questioned. Chapter 1031. I forgot to introduce everyone. Huang Yu hurriedly explained, this is my master. He came to China this time to understand China's martial arts culture. Huang Yu looked at Li Fan. As the president of the Martial Arts Society, you won't reject my master's good intentions, right? Of course not. Li Fan smiled, tolerance is great. I still hope to communicate with the international experts. But when it comes to sparring, don't overdo it. Of course, I will be lenient. Toyota Kojiro said very seriously. This Japanese is so arrogant. Who is he? So arrogant? Lu Wanwan's personal guards immediately cursed. My master is Toyota Kojiro, the successor of Japan's water-shattering sword. When he was only 16 years old, he already took first place in Japan's swordsmanship competition. Even the elder of Japan's Takeda family, Takeda, praised my master, saying that he is the leader of Japan's younger generation. Is that so? Li Fan glanced at Lu Wanwan. Lu Wanwan hurriedly said. I want to give it a try. All right. Li Fan nodded. He knew that Lu Wanwan was also a girl who did not like to lose. Wanwan, do your best. At this moment, a girl's shout came from the stands. The crowd did not care, but Li Fan and Lu Wanwan looked at the same time. Shin-Chin, this girl had snuck back without them knowing. She was wearing sunglasses and a mask, sitting in a corner and waving at Lu Wanwan. Why is this girl here? Li Fan just thought of this when his phone suddenly received a WeChat message from Shin-Chin. I haven't seen you for a while. You've taught my Wanwan well. It's senior sister who learns fast. Li Fan was very humble. TSK. I came back this time because I have something to tell you. Come find me later. This superstar, why is she looking for me? Li Fan did not understand, but there seemed to be some ill-fated relationship between him and Shin-Chin. But he could not agree so easily. Is this the attitude of begging? When did this lady beg you? It's your honor. Of course not. You can play by yourself. I have other things to do later. See you again if fate wills it. Hey! Stop messing around. I really have something to talk to you about. Goodbye, I wish you happiness. You, Shin-Chin raised her head and looked at Li Fan angrily. You wait for this, miss. Don't wait. You bastard. Can't you be more gentlemanly? I can't. The competition is over. Bye. Li Fan sent 3 exclamation marks and then put away his phone while Shin-chan was going crazy. At this moment, Toyota Kojiro was already standing in the arena. He raised his wooden katana with one hand and faced Lu Wan-er in front of him. Miss, you defeated my disciple. I respect you very much. But you seem to have just started learning martial arts, so I'll let you use one hand first. No need. Lu Wan-er was a little unhappy. Why were these people looking down on her? Maybe I made you unhappy, but I'll let you go. Toyota Kojiro was very serious. The difference in strength between us is too big. Is that so? Lu Wan-er quickly adjusted her emotions. After all, her mentality was better than normal people. Lu Wan-er positioned herself and stood there, calmly looking at Toyota Kojiro in front of her. Then, please enlighten me. Be careful of your shoulder. When Toyota Kojiro said this, he had already rushed in front of Lu Wan-er. At the same time, he held the wooden katana in his right hand and tore through the air, slashing horizontally towards Lu Wan-er's shoulder. Step forward, crane hand, push his wrist. Li Fan had already seen through Toyota Kojiro's move and told Lu Wan-er in advance. But before Lu Wan-er could react, her shoulder had already been slashed. She frowned in pain, and Toyota Kojiro swept his feet and directly tripped Lu Wan-er. If she had not practiced Qigong for a few days, this fall would definitely not be light. Toyota Kojiro had no intention of stopping. The wooden katana in his hand stabbed towards Lu Wan-er, who was on the ground. Enough! Li Fan suddenly shouted. This shout caused Toyota Kojiro's entire body to go numb. He could not help but stop what he was doing. He looked at Li Fan standing on the side in surprise, his eyes full of surprise. True energy. This was true energy. That was great. Had he finally met a true expert? Huang Yu had done well. He had gained a lot this time. Toyota Kojiro laughed heartily and looked at Li Fan. Are you an expert from China? Would you like to have a battle with me? You want to fight with me? Li Fan laughed. Then let's fight with my disciple first. Your disciple? Toyota Kojiro looked at Lu Wan-er. Didn't I defeat her? No, she's a true disciple. Li Fan clapped his hands. A short-haired youth walked out from the crowd and at the same time, moved his shoulders. Master, I just got off the plane and you're already asking me to fight? Because he was going to open a dojo here, Li Fan transferred Lu Xiaohu over from Li Family Island. The smart chip that Lu Xiaohu wore was the latest technology from Li Family Island. It could shield Lu Xiaohu's superpower and avoid being detected by China's Esper ability detection system. The twins could not help but look at the youth. This youth did not seem old. Li Fan's disciple. They wondered how much of Li Fan's kung fu he had learned. Although Li Fan was willing to teach kung fu to outsiders, the twins knew that Li Fan would only teach the true 7 Heroes Fist to his own disciples. They, Lu Wan-er, Li Tai, and the other club members had only learned a simplified version of the 7 Heroes Fist. This is your excellency's disciple. Toyota Kojiro frowned as he looked at the youth who was about 1.6 meters tall. Sorry, I can still grow another 20 centimeters. Lu Xiaohu was wearing the same sportswear as Li Fan, but it was black. He stood on his tiptoes. As the saying goes, 23 years old, jump up. I've been drinking some milk recently. I'm worried about your age. You're still a kid, right? Toyota Kojiro asked immediately. Bullshit, if this was in the past, I'd be the father of several children. Lu Xiaohu immediately retorted, and I can beat 8 of you. Your Excellency's tone is a bit too arrogant. Of course, my master's nickname is the Little Tyrant. I'm definitely not bad. Lu Xiaohu held the back of his head with both hands and said proudly, remember my name. The young master is called Lu Xiaohu. Your Excellency, is the Little Tyrant Li Fan? Toyota Kojiro looked at Li Fan with some excitement. The man who defeated Abe Yoshio. Hey, I said remember my name. Lu Xiaohu was furious. Chapter 1032. Your Excellency's disciple should have some ability. Toyota Kojiro adjusted his emotions, gripped the wooden katana tightly, and pointed it at Lu Xiaohu. Then I'll defeat your Excellency's disciple first, then meet the legendary little tyrant. Fuck you, you're the little bastard. Lu Xiaohu was immediately enraged. This idiot actually dared to insult his master. Fuck your grandpa. His figure suddenly flashed and instantly appeared in front of Toyota Kojiro. A tiger claw was aimed at Toyota Kojiro's forehead. However, Toyota Kojiro was also an expert. Without hesitation, he immediately raised the wooden katana in his hand and swept it towards Lu Xiaohu's face. Smack! Lu Xiaohu stretched out 3 fingers and pinched the body of the wooden katana. When it came to finger skills, even Li Fan had to admire his disciple. Lu Xiaohu did not neglect training on the island. His internal energy had definitely been trained to the level of 5 fingers. Nanny? The katana felt like it was clamped by an iron clamp. Toyota Kojiro was a little surprised. Black Tiger steals heart. However, Lu Xiaohu's next palm strike landed on Toyota Kojiro's chest. If Toyota Kojiro did not let go of the wooden katana and took 2 steps back, this strike would have pierced into his chest and crushed his heart. Not bad. Toyota Kojiro praised, it's my fault. I underestimated you. He stretched out his hand, and his disciple, Huang Yu, who was below the stage, threw another katana up. He grabbed it with both hands. From now on, I see you as a real opponent. Lu Xiaonyo. Damn, young master's name is Lu Xiaohu. Lu Xiaohu was furious. He lowered his body and then leaped forward. Lu Xiaohu's tiger claws continuously attacked Toyota Kojiro. However, Toyota Kojiro was not an ordinary person. He held the wooden katana with both hands and waved it continuously, using it to block Lu Xiaohu's attacks. The rhythm is too messy. Li Fan stood below the stage, crossed his arms, and scolded, adjust the rhythm for me. I will work hard, master. Lu Xiaohu shuddered in fear and quickly took a step back. Then, he stretched out his hands, clenched them into tiger claws, and readjusted his rhythm. Hungry tiger out of the cage. Lu Xiaohu roared. In that second, Toyota Kojiro felt as if time had stopped for a second. But Lu Xiaohu had already appeared in front of him, and a pair of tiger claws launched a quick attack at him. It was as fast as a storm, and it instantly hit Toyota Kojiro's body. Toyota Kojiro's sword couldn't keep up with Lu Xiaohu's rhythm at all. He was knocked back in a few moves, and many wounds appeared on his body as blood flowed down. Tiger Cannon. At the moment when Toyota Kojiro was hit, Lu Xiaohu suddenly stopped in his tracks, then stretched out his right hand and aimed at Toyota Kojiro, while his left hand held his right wrist, as if helping him aim. Charge! He condensed a ball of vital energy in his palm and turned it into a cannonball, suddenly hitting Toyota Kojiro's body. Bang! Toyota Kojiro's body was sent flying and instantly fell outside the ring, smashing a table. Lu Xiaohu put down his still smoking palm and looked at Toyota Kojiro, who was lying unconscious under the ring. This is too weak. You've become stronger. It was unknown when Li Fan came to the ring. He patted Lu Xiaohu's head. Looks like you haven't neglected your training recently. Not bad. Thank you, master, for your compliment. Lu Xiaohu was happy. To be praised by his master, he was very satisfied. This tiger cannon is also very interesting. It's worth studying. Lu Xiaohu liked to infer other things from one instance, and he was very creative. This was exactly what his other disciple, Jiang Yi, was lacking. This move isn't stable yet. I need to study it more. Try it. Don't release such a strong force at once. Just release 70% of your strength. Li Fan reminded, leave 30% as a variable. Thank you, master, for your reminder. Lu Xiaohu thought of something. I heard that I have 2 junior sisters. When can I meet them? Soon. She'll be here too. When they arrived at City G, Jiang Yi didn't need to be too restrained. After all, Jiang Feng wasn't here. And Li Fan's disciple defeated Huang Yu's master. Huang Yu had completely lost hope. Their modern combat club was probably going to lose to the martial arts club. Your disciple is really amazing. Jiang Yuanyuan and Jiang Fangfang walked over together. The twins checked Lu Xiaohu's body in various ways, making Lu Xiaohu blush. What are you guys doing? Although Lu Xiaohu was lecherous, he was at a loss when he was suddenly attacked by two identical beauties. Li Fan actually has a disciple. How interesting. Jiang Yuanyuan was excited. How old were you when you learned martial arts from Li Fan? Quick, let me take a look. Lu Xiaohu thought to himself, if I didn't bring a signal blocker and can't use my superpower, I'll definitely show you guys how powerful I am. Alright, this is indeed my disciple. You guys don't have to tease him anymore. Li Fan pulled Lu Xiaohu behind him to prevent him from being attacked by the twins. He's here to help me with the martial arts club. This isn't the place to talk. Let's talk somewhere else. Jiang Fangfang reminded them as she looked at the noisy crowd around them. Meanwhile, Lin Yuhsan was already in charge of clearing the venue. There would be other matches in the stadium later. When they entered the club's lounge, Jiang Yuanyuan suddenly grabbed Li Fan's sleeve. Li Fan, let me formally worship you as my master. Don't mess around. Li Fan slapped the girl's hand away. You're from the 8 trigrams school. It's not proper to worship me as your master. But I want to learn martial arts from you. Jiang Yuanyuan grabbed Li Fan's hand again and kept shaking his arm. I'm begging you. Master, you should just accept such a beautiful junior sister. You already have so many disciples anyway. One more won't make much of a difference. Lu Xiaohu was trying to take advantage of them. Go away. Li Fan glared at him. How can accepting a disciple be done so casually? Besides, Jiang Yuanyuan, haven't I already taught you martial arts? I want to learn something more profound. Greedy and insatiable. Li Fan scratched her nose. If you mess around again, I'll spank your butt. Damn it, I'm not a child. Li Fan, the martial arts you teach is really good. Lu Wan had also returned from handling the matters in the stadium. Once she entered the lounge, she excitedly looked at Li Fan. I originally planned to go out for an internship this year, but now it seems that it's more interesting to stay here and learn martial arts for a year. Sure. Li Fan nodded. Senior sister, learn for another year. In the future, when you enter society, you'll be able to protect yourself. Otherwise, a beautiful girl like you will definitely be bullied when you enter society. When Lu Wan heard this, she was slightly shocked. Junior brother is really special. What do you mean? Just as Li Fan was about to ask, the door of the lounge was suddenly kicked open. Shin Chen stood at the door angrily. Chapter 1033. Without waiting for Li Fan to understand, Shin Chen kicked open the lounge door and stormed in. Li Fan. Why didn't you come? This old lady has been waiting for you for 10 minutes. You're sick. Li Fan frowned. When did I say I would go? Besides, you blew up in 10 minutes. There's something wrong with your mentality. Bastard. Shin Chen was indeed about to explode. She suddenly stepped forward and raised her hand, wanting to slap Li Fan. But Jiang Yuanyuan, who was standing at the side, suddenly made her move, grabbed Shin Chen, and pressed her down on the table. Is this a big star? She's too uncultured. Jiang Yuanyuan curled her lips, to think that I like your songs. Woo woo. Shin Chen couldn't even make a sound, only feeling a sharp pain. Jiang Fangfang held her sister back. You can't attack ordinary people. Yuanyuan. Quickly let go of her. Lu Wan hurriedly shouted, while Li Fan also pulled Jiang Yuanyuan's hand away. Forget it, let her go. Bastard! You're all bullying me. After Shin Chen was released, she took a few steps back and cried at Li Fan. Li Fan, you're a big bastard. A complete and utter bastard. To think that I was still thinking about you. With that, Shin Chen rushed out of the room and casually threw a box. Li Fan picked up the box and found a very high-end sportswear inside, which seemed to be a gift for him. You guys. Lu Wan was a little angry. Shin Chen forget it. Lu Wan originally wanted to chase after Shin Chen, but on second thought, she stretched out her hand and poked Li Fan. Why aren't you going after her? Alright. Li Fan did not have the bad taste of making a girl cry. He turned around and chased out of the lounge. The heavens seemed to have gone crazy, and it was raining outside. Autumn rain is different from spring rain and summer rain. The spring rain was warm, as if it symbolized the revival of all living things. On the other hand, the summer rain was very violent. It would pour cats and dogs at any moment. Occasionally, it would be accompanied by bursts of thunder, making people feel carefree. However, the autumn rain was still rustling, bringing with it a trace of coldness. Although Shin Chen was angry, she should not have run far. Li Fan strengthened his hearing and filled his ears with true energy. In the drizzle, Li Fan heard the sound of sobbing. There seemed to be some loneliness and grievance in her cries. Was it Shin Chen? Li Fan followed the weak voice and walked over. A girl was sitting on the steps to the side, her head buried in her arms. Her body trembled as she cried. Do superstars also hide and cry? Li Fan squatted beside Shin Chen and asked softly. Shin Chen was like a frightened deer, raising his head in shock. When he saw Li Fan, he quickly wiped away his tears. Bastard, do you only know how to be sarcastic? Hey, do you also say that about me? Li Fan couldn't help laughing. You're usually the one who sarcastically ridicules me. I didn't. Wasn't I very good to you some time ago? Shin Chen wiped away his tears. But I didn't treat you well because I like you. Don't think too highly of yourself. You don't like me? Then who confessed to me? Humph, I was temporarily retarded, okay. Who would like you, bastard? Shin Chen was very angry, very angry. She was busy running advertisements, doing publicity, and working hard. But even so busy, she still took a break and bought a sportswear for Li Fan. When she heard Lu Wan say that the three major societies would join forces to challenge Li Fan, she quickly informed the company and ran back here. Although Shin Chen wanted to cheer for Li Fan, she was too embarrassed to show it. After running around outside for a while, Shin Chen felt that the distance between her and Li Fan had widened. If it was before she left school, she would have cheered for Li Fan openly. But girls were strange. If they didn't see each other for a long time, they would become a little pretentious. But this was a girl. Why was this guy so annoying? Well, it's my fault. I should have been more lenient with you. Li Fan stretched out his hand and wiped away Shin Chen's tears. Hey, there's a lot of germs in your hand. Although Shin Chen scolded, she did not avoid Li Fan's hand. Do you hate me? Shin Chen suddenly raised her head and asked Li Fan with a little grievance. She was so lethal that even Li Fan couldn't resist her. Yes and no. Li Fan quickly explained, it's just that sometimes you're too unreasonable, so I'm a little afraid. But I've always been like this. Shin Chen sat there in a daze, unable to understand. The agency also told me to keep a distance from everyone, because I'm different from everyone, and I have to maintain my sense of mystery. You keep a distance from ordinary people, but you and I should be considered friends, right? Yeah, Shin Chen nodded. Then Lu Wan is also your friend, right? Xiao Wan, she's a sister. Shin Chen corrected Li Fan's statement, better than a sister. Well, that's true, but you're not biological sisters after all. You were just ordinary friends at the beginning, right? Yeah, Shin Chen nodded. That's right, do you need to treat your friends like this? Li Fan looked at Shin Chen and said word by word, I don't need you to flatter me, just like how you treated me before you left. You can treat me exactly the way you are, but just give me a little more respect, and that will do. I respect you very much, so I give you all kinds of rights that others can't get. It's not any rights, but putting me on an equal footing with you. How is that possible? I'm a gift from God. Shin Chin shook his head repeatedly. Who instilled such a brainless concept in you? Li Fan frowned. Everyone in this world is born equal. It's not equal, I'm different. Shin Chin emphasized. How are you different? How are you stronger? Li Fan suddenly snorted coldly. He stood there and raised his true energy. The surrounding rainwater seemed to be afraid of Li Fan, avoiding him. Li Fan's skin began to emit a red glow, and white smoke came out from his back, forming a ring. Compared to me, how are you? As Li Fan spoke, he raised his hand and struck the sky with his palm. Li Fan's true energy condensed into a ball, and was instantly sent to the sky thousands of meters high. The dark clouds in the sky were instantly dispersed by Li Fan's palm strength. Shin Chin stared blankly at the sky, the clouds that were pierced. The surrounding raindrops stopped, and the sun shone through the gap in the clouds, shining on Li Fan, making Li Fan look like a god. Chapter 1034. A palm pierced through the clouds. Shin Chin couldn't believe her eyes. How was this possible? How am I, who possesses such power, compared to you? Li Fan's voice carried an unquestionable power that made people worship him. They couldn't help but want to kneel down and worship him. If you're a gift from God, then I should be a real god. You're indeed God. Shin Chin almost surrendered. At this time, Li Fan suddenly dispersed the pressure on his body and returned to his normal appearance. He smiled at Shin Chin in front of him. No, I'm not God. I'm just an ordinary person. Li Fan's smile made Shin Chin relax a little, and her heartbeat was not so heavy. The feeling that Li Fan exuded for a moment was really scary. You're the same. You're not God either. Li Fan told Shin Chin, we're all ordinary people. Don't try to be special anymore. Do you remember? Yes, I remember. Shin Chin nodded, but I sing better than you. Li Fan was speechless. He couldn't refute this. But isn't your throat broken? This is not what I want. Shin Chin lowered her head and seemed a little sad. Okay, I won't beat you up. Thank you for your gift, I like it very much. Li Fan expressed his gratitude. I didn't want to give it to you. Shin Chin turned her head and snorted, I just bought it on the way. Okay, thank you for buying the gift on the way. Li Fan thanked her again. That's more like it. Shin Chen's mood relaxed a little. This Li Fan was better. The Li Fan just now was indeed a little scary. Can I ask you for a favor? What is it? Seeing that Shin Chin suddenly became serious, Li Fan became curious. There was actually a time when this lass was serious. He was always so frivolous. I'm going to England the day after tomorrow. Shin Chin said, it's to promote my new album. I hope you can accompany me. Why me? Because I received this. As Shin Chin spoke, he took out a letter and handed it to Li Fan. Inside was a piece of A4 paper with a row of small words printed in black font. If you dare to come to England, I will kill you. Threatening letter. Li Fan couldn't help but be surprised. You still believe in this? Such a letter might not be a big deal. Shin Chin pointed at the emblem below. This is the emblem of the Magic Association. The Magic Association? Li Fan couldn't help but laugh. Have you watched too much Harry Potter? I didn't believe it at first, but, look for yourself. Shin Chin pressed on the badge, and the letter suddenly flew up and folded. It was like a mouth that kept opening and closing its mouth to speak. Shin Chin. You are a man forsaken by God. If you dare to come to England, the Magic Association will get rid of you immediately. After roaring for a while, the letter turned back into a piece of paper and floated to the ground. Look, Shen Chen couldn't help but tremble as he looked at the paper on the ground. This can't be some high-tech, what the superpower? Li Fan was a little puzzled. Or was there really magic? But since there was superpower, then there was nothing surprising about magic, right? China had Jianghu and England had the Magic Association. It seemed reasonable. Then it's better if you don't go. No, this promotion is very important. Even if the agency doesn't let me go, I have to go. Shen Chen said, and I heard, the Magic Association in England may have a way to cure my voice. You're turning to any doctor in a desperate situation. What can I do? Do you understand how it feels to lose your voice? Shen Chen looked like she was about to lose her temper. I've been forcing myself to smile. Even Lil Wan can't be with me all the time. The only thing that can be with me all the time is my singing. I get it. Li Fan nodded. I will help you. Really? But I heard that you have to deal with the dojo. The dojo can be put aside first. Anyway, I've already called Xiaohu and Jiang Yi, they will be here soon. Plus Lin Yuhsan, the three of them can help me first. Li Fan thought for a moment. Senior sister Lil Wan said she would help, and there are also the sisters. They are all labor. Oh, yes, Xiao Ai is also here. As long as she doesn't cause trouble. Why did you find a group of students to help? Can't you find some professionals? They are all professionals. Li Fan emphasized, except Xiao Ai. Since you've arranged it, then there are no other problems. Shen Chen was happy and pulled Li Fan's arm. Then you will be my personal bodyguard for the time being. Well, by the way, I run my own escort agency. Li Fan took out a business card and put it in Shen Chen's palm. According to the price, my daily fee is 100,000. Boss Shen, how long do you want to hire me? Damn, why is it so expensive? You are a profiteer. Thank you for the compliment. After all, I have a lot of people to support. Li Fan laughed. Shen Chen was speechless. You. What do you do? The more I know you, the more I feel you are different. No, I am just an ordinary person who has learned some martial arts. I also want to learn, do you have time? Is there any shortcut? Shen Chen asked hurriedly. There is no such thing. Li Fan shrugged. Practicing martial arts is not something that can be done in a day. You need to hone your spirit and body to achieve something. Sigh, so troublesome. Then you can practice martial arts and then protect me. Li Fan was a little helpless. This girl was really lazy. In addition to Shen Chen's matter, Li Fan was also concerned about another thing. That was that Wang Luo. At 8:00 in the evening, he must have a talk with this strange man. What is the Holy War plan? Then it's a deal. The day after tomorrow, I will send a car to pick you up. Shen Chen was a little happy. Like I said, I am such a beautiful woman, you will definitely want to be by my side. Asking you to be the hero and save the beauty, you must be happy. Here you go again. Li Fan sighed. Alright, I won't say any more. Then let's see you the day after tomorrow. Okay, see you. N. Chapter 1035. On the morning of the third day, Li Fan heard Zhao Yingjun yelling before he went downstairs. Fuck, there's a Bentley downstairs. Whose is it? Wang Yang and Xiang Dong also looked downstairs. Wang Yang sighed. A black Bentley, so luxurious. When I become famous for my fortune-telling, I want to buy a car like this too. Bro, stop fooling around. Zhao Yingjun broke out in a cold sweat. A fortune-teller can afford a Bentley? Are you looking down on us fortune-tellers? Wang Yang immediately emphasized. My uncle master drives a Bentley now. He goes in and out of high-end places every day, telling fortunes and feng shui for all kinds of famous families. He's living a carefree life. If you want to have your fortune told, just the reservation alone is at least 500,000. What, your uncle master has a golden mouth? Zhao Yingjun was very confused. Can fortune-telling earn so much money? What do you think? Wang Yang said seriously. Fortune-tellers make money by divulging heavenly secrets. Small heavenly secrets are small money, big heavenly secrets are big money. You're like me, I only know how to read small heavenly secrets. My uncle master, on the other hand, sees big heavenly secrets. What nonsense are you talking about? Zhao Yingjun waved his hand. You've read too many web novels. It's true if you believe it, it's true if you don't believe it. If you don't believe it, I won't force you. Today. You're being weird. Ah, second brother, where are you going? Are you going out? Can you help me bring some breakfast back? Seeing that Li Fan had put on his sportswear and was about to go out, Zhao Yingjun hurriedly asked. You'll have to buy your own breakfast. Li Fan smiled. I applied for leave from school. I'm going out for a few days. Ah. Will the school approve? G University's rules had always been strict, especially for first-year students. No problem. The dean was Shin Chen's fan. Needless to say, this trick was very effective. See you in a few days, brothers. Li Fan was about to open the door and go downstairs when Wang Yang suddenly called out to Li Fan. Li Fan, wait, Li Fan turned around, not knowing what was going on with Wang Yang. Li Fan, your glabella has been turning dark for the past 2 days, you have to be careful. Wang Yang's words made Li Fan's body tremble slightly. Here we go again, this fraud. Zhao Yingjun teased, but Li Fan's thoughts instantly went back to 8:00 the night before yesterday. At that time, he returned to the empty classroom and met Wang Luo again. It would be even better if you brought a little girl. Wang Luo sat cross-legged on the podium and looked at Li Fan. There's no need to chase our Yang away this time. Anyway, he can save your life. Speak clearly. Li Fan looked at the mysterious Wang Luo in front of him. Who exactly are you? I am here to save you, Li Fan. Wang Luo took out a quaint sword and looked at Li Fan with a smile. I belong to the country's highest intelligence organization. There has always been only one person in this organization. I only need to answer to the highest leader. This is my privilege and also my responsibility. The highest intelligence organization? Yes, the name of this organization is called Shangfang Sword. Wang Luo raised the sword in his hand. This sword has existed since Han Dynasty. It is called Shangfang Horse-Slaying Sword. This Shangfang Horse-Slaying Sword is specially for the imperial power. I, Wang Luo, am this generation's Shangfang Sword. And you, Li Fan, are the next generation. What nonsense are you talking about? Li Fan frowned. Since when do I want to inherit this Shangfang sword? I, Li Fan, only fight for myself, not for the imperial power. I came to see you just to inquire about the so-called Holy War Plan, not to take over your position. This position is very good, a lot of things are very convenient. Do you think I want to hand it over to you? When Wang Luo spoke, a trace of blood was already dripping from the corner of his mouth. He stretched out his hand and wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. It is because I don't have much time left. You have an incurable disease. That's not it. It is mainly because my body is already corrupted. Wang Luo said, just by looking at my appearance, you might not believe it, but I am actually already 110 years old. It is just that I will always have this face, I will never age. The fuck? Li Fan was stunned when he heard this. This person is already 110 years old. So awesome. Are you sure these injuries were not caused by me? Of course not. Wang Luo spat. Young man, what are you thinking about? You want to hurt me with just you? That's impossible. I am China's Shangfang sword. I kill gods above and evil spirits below. As Wang Luo spoke, he stood up. His body suddenly expanded and became 2 meters tall. Like a god, he looked straight at Li Fan. Changing bones? No, I don't know any martial arts at all. Wang Luo says, all of this is an experiment. Experiment? What experiment? An experiment to make a deal with the devil. Wang Luo didn't fully explain. I obtained the ability to strengthen my body and powerful mental strength. My existence is only for one thing, and that is to become the Shangfang sword. That is also your choice. Li Fan reminded him, you can't force me to make the same choice as you. You still don't understand. Do you think that I am willing to waste my time on a man? Only beautiful young ladies are my true love. Wang Luo coughed out blood again. I have said it before, this is the only way to save you. Become the Shangfang sword and be outside of all the rules. Isn't the so-called Shangfang sword still the weapon of those in power? I don't want to become the weapon of those in power. This is a contract and also a transaction. Wang Luo immediately said, even those in power can't casually use the Shangfang sword. The Shangfang sword is the ultimate weapon. Those in power can only use it 10 times during their time in power. But other than this, the Shangfang sword also needs to protect China's safety. That is the main purpose. Not interested. Li Fan still rejected, I don't like to carry this kind of responsibility. Have you forgotten that I am saving you? Wang Luo didn't panic and continued, the sacred war is about to begin, Jianghu will no longer exist. At that time, where will you, Li Fan, survive? Jianghu will no longer exist. What does that mean? Li Fan felt that this Wang Luo seemed to know a lot of secrets. What do you think the sacred war plan is? It is to destroy the entire Jianghu in China. Jianghu is so big, how can it be destroyed just like that? Currently, China is divided into doves and hawks. It has been peaceful for too long, the doves have taken over the mainstream. Wang Luo's eyes seemed to be filled with disdain. In peaceful times, martial artists are the biggest threat to the country. Furthermore, martial artists are the eyesore of the foreign powers, so. Chapter 1036. So, with the Dove faction as the leader, they made a decision to start a crusade to eradicate Jianghu. To cooperate with the US, to develop and improve together. What a joke. Li Fan couldn't help but feel desolate. Jianghu has protected China for so many years, but now because of the Dove faction's compromise, it has become a sacrifice. In my eyes, Jianghu is nothing more than that. Originally, I didn't take this matter to heart. Because my strength alone is enough to protect Huaxia. Aren't you too good at talking big? Is that so? Wang Luo suddenly laughed out loud. Li Fan, do you know that I have protected China for 100 years? From the age of 11, I have already become this sword. In 1917, the warlords were in a war. Wang Luo was only 11 years old, but he was already on the battlefield with a gun. He killed 2 enemies, but was mistakenly shot from the back by one of his own. At that time, Wang Luo was lying on the ground, waiting for death to come. But death didn't come. A man named Shangfang saved him. He trained him to become the next generation's Shangfang. But Wang Luo was a natural insulator, unable to practice martial arts. But because his mental power was higher than normal people, Wang Luo could hypnotize his enemies to protect China. But in the 60s, when he was on the verge of death due to old age, he was sent to a lab in the US by a corrupt official in exchange for benefits. In the lab, Wang Luo went through all kinds of inhumane experiments, but in the end, the experiments failed, causing Wang Luo's body to mutate. He returned to his young body, obtained even more power, and with an Shangfang Zhanma, killed his way back to China from the US. Wang Luo got rid of the corrupt officials, allowing the power of the Shangfang to shock the entire world. Just like that, Wang Luo protected China for another 40 years. Although he looked young on the outside, on the inside, he was already an old man that was over 100 years old. He, who had never cultivated qi before, had no way to improve his body's skills, and could only watch himself grow old day by day. He could die, but he couldn't lose the shang fang 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 fang. Wang Luo had been looking for his successor, and he had been observing Li Fan for a long time. The current Li Fan and his master are too similar. That scary man. If there was a reincarnation cycle in this world, perhaps Li Fan would really be his reincarnation. Li Fan, the holy war has already begun. You're safe in Ji City. But in the Jianghu, many big and small sects have been destroyed. Didn't Murong's family do anything? Murong's blog? He's just a lackey of the doves. Wang Luo smiled. Although he's powerful, he's not worthy of my attention. What I want is a person who hasn't bent his spine. Even so, I will not become an imperial sword. I will use my own strength to protect the things that are important to me. Really? However, Wang Luo raised her eyebrows. Do you think your happy student days will last for a long time? Li Fan, all of this is just a game for you. Soon, darkness will come, and you will have nowhere to hide. Don't you know how many murders you've committed? As long as the doves are willing, from tomorrow onwards, you will become a wanted criminal. Zhou Tai has already given up on you. The reason why you're not a wanted criminal is because I'm protecting you. Me? I'm a law-abiding young man. Li Fan said that he didn't mind, but he was still worried in his heart. If he were to become a wanted criminal, then he would have to hide his head and show his tail. Or he could directly return to the Li family island and continue to build his territory there. But if that's the case, he would have too many regrets in life. Really? Tiger-faced enforcer. As Wang Luo spoke, he suddenly turned into a tiger-headed man. Li Fan's body trembled. Do you think you've done it flawlessly? You're underestimating China's criminal investigation power. There will always be a place where you'll leave some traces. Not just this, you've killed so many people in the Jianghu. When the Jianghu was still around, the rules of the Jianghu would naturally protect you. But the Jianghu is about to cease to exist. Do you think you can still survive? Li Fan pondered for a moment. The path that Wang Luo gave him was undoubtedly correct, but Li Fan didn't want to walk on this path. The more others wanted him to do something, the more he didn't want to do it. Wang Luo, I'll walk my own path. Others can't guide me. Li Fan, you still don't understand. You're destined to become an imperial sword. Wang Luo sighed as he looked at Li Fan. Very soon, even my power won't be able to protect you. Because in the end, the one who will destroy the Jianghu is destined to be you. What a joke, how can I destroy the Jianghu? I'm not the destroyer. Really? Let me reveal some information to you. Wang Luo looked at Li Fan and threw down a ruthless sentence. The person who destroyed dozens of sects in the Jianghu is a young man called Li Fan. As Wang Luo spoke, he took out an iPad and placed it in front of him. There was an image on it. It seemed to be a courtyard with corpses and blood everywhere. A young man stood there without any expression. His body was stained with blood and one of his hands was holding a 7 or 8-year-old kid. It seemed like he had just broken the kid's neck. Li Fan opened his eyes wide. This young man is me. How is this possible? Li Fan roared. Asshole, did you do this? It has nothing to do with me. Mr. Yang's figure appeared again. He was wearing a black tuxedo and a western hat as he looked at Li Fan. You're still here. You and I are one. Of course, I won't disappear. Mr. Yang shrugged his shoulders, but those things weren't done by me. We've already merged. I can't do anything for you anymore. I can only watch you from the side. Watch from the side. Li Fan pointed at Wang Luo. What about him? How powerful is he? Very powerful. Mr. Yang looked at Wang Luo. His body couldn't help but tremble. This man, the power he emits makes me feel terrified. Li Fan, for your own good, don't be his enemy. At least, before he completely collapses. Mr. Yang, who used to urge him to kill people, advised him not to do it today. It seems like Wang Luo's power is indeed terrifying. At least you have good eyes. Wang Luo could also see Mr. Yang's existence. Or rather, he could directly see Li Fan's spirit. If my body can do it, I really want to fight you with all my strength. But unfortunately, the more power I use now, the faster I die. In order to live a few more days, I can only give up on this idea. Let me ask you one last time. Are you willing to receive my Shangfang sword? Chapter 1037. You look like a dog in this sportswear. Shin Chen snorted as she watched Li Fan get in the car. You still don't know how to talk, Li Fan was speechless. This woman would probably never learn what respect was in this lifetime. Then I'd better take it off. Don't you dare. Shin Chen glared at him. If you dare to take it off, you'll what? I'll take it off too, and then yell molest. You'll be in the headlines. Li Fan was convinced by this method. Fine, then I won't take it off. That's more like it. Shin Chen was satisfied. That's more like a man. She opened the fridge. What do you want to drink? That's enough. How much information do you have on the British Association of Magic? Can you tell me more? I don't know much. The Association of Mages is the same as the martial arts world, it only exists in the Western world of novels. Shin Chen guessed. I heard that only those who entered it by mistake had recorded such stories and novels. Only after they were written did we learn about it. But who knows the specifics? I'm not a magician. Well, then I think I understand. Li Fan nodded. He sat there with his chin on his hand. They probably had an arbitration organization similar to the Brocade Clan Guard, which dealt with matters in the magic world and the real world. But, why do they hate you so much? It's really incomprehensible. Li Fan looked at the beautiful female star in front of him. Did you do anything to make them angry? How is that possible? It's my first time going to England. Shen Chen was a little unhappy. Who knows what those psychopaths want to do? If it wasn't for my throat, I wouldn't go to them. Anyway, we'll find out today. They would arrive in London this afternoon, and Li Fan really wanted to see what the so-called Association of Mages was. Helping Shin Chen was one thing, but wanting to see a magician was the real motivation for Li Fan. This time, Shin Chen got her wish and booked the first-class cabin, but she bought business class for Li Fan. Fuck, it's still the same problem. Li Fan was sitting in the business class, but he was happy and relaxed. He pulled the blindfold over his eyes and decided to get some sleep before flying to London. Li Fan was in a daze when he heard Mr. Yang's voice. Li Fan, wake up. Sleep for a while more. Li Fan wanted to stay in bed. Wake up, there's danger. The voice became heavier. Li Fan's eyes moved slightly. He felt as though something was restraining him. Li Fan sensed danger. He suddenly exerted his power and tore apart the shackles on his body. Everyone on the plane seemed to have fallen asleep. It was very quiet and there was no sound at all. Even the flight attendants in the business class were sleeping soundly on the chairs beside them. What was going on? Li Fan suddenly remembered the threat from the Magic Association. Could it be that it had begun? He pretended to continue sleeping and sat in his seat, looking forward. If he wanted to go to the first-class cabin in front, he had to go through the business-class cabin where he was. Li Fan wanted to see what kind of person this magician was. It was a man who was wearing a British-style suit like Mr. Yang. He was holding a meter-long cane in his right hand and walking toward the first-class cabin. Friend, why are you in such a hurry? Where are you going? Li Fan waved his hand and a wall of true energy blocked the way to the first-class cabin, blocking the British man outside. What? The British man turned his head and looked at Li Fan with a frown. Impossible. He spoke the purest English and looked at Li Fan with some surprise. How did you break my dream space? Ah, maybe it's because I'm not sleepy. Li Fan smiled. It would be better if you could solve my insomnia. All of you go to sleep. The British man frowned. He held the cane and knocked it on the ground. A transparent halo immediately spread out and filled the surroundings. Magic? Li Fan's eyes gathered true energy. He could clearly see the energy used by this magic. No matter what it was all just energy. Li Fan had already grasped the foundation of this world's power, so everything was easily solved. Li Fan stretched out his right hand and released his true qi, blocking in front of the fluctuation. The fluctuation was blocked in front of Li Fan. Li Fan calmly sat there, picked up the juice on the shelf and drank a mouthful. Please help me wake up the flight attendants. I'm a bit hungry. I hope they can help me prepare something to eat. Who are you? The British man frowned. Did you just cast a magic barrier? Of course not. Li Fan smiled. Does your magic association still recruit Asians? Then can I sign up? Knock him out. The British man raised his cane and aimed his left hand at Li Fan. He released a white radiance towards Li Fan. Li Fan raised his hand and shattered the fluctuation. This kind of magic has no effect on me. I originally wanted to solve the problem quietly, but if I use too much magic, the passengers on this plane will also suffer. The magic association cannot interfere with the secular world, this is the rule. What, you're leaving just like that? Li Fan saw the clues. Don't be in a hurry to leave, let's chat a bit more. We will see each other later. The British man saluted Li Fan and then knocked his cane. The air around him suddenly compressed, curling him into a ball and then disappeared from the plane. Teleportation. Li Fan was shocked. This was really magic. The British man had completely disappeared, even his aura was as if he had never been here. The people on the plane were slowly waking up. The stewardess also rubbed her eyes and looked at Li Fan. Sir. Did I fall asleep? Just for a while. Li Fan smiled at her. Can you prepare lunch for me? Yes, sir, please wait a moment. The stewardess went to help Li Fan prepare the food. Li Fan leaned on the chair, still thinking about the British man. The British Magic Association seemed to be quite interesting. This teleportation method, I wonder if I can learn it. Although they are all energy, there is a difference in the way each energy works. Just now when the other party teleported, the surrounding energy seemed to have been sucked out. This power seems to be a bit dangerous. Sir, your lunch is ready, please enjoy. If there is anything you need, please let me know. The beautiful stewardess respectfully brought the lunch in front of Li Fan. Thank you. How long until we reach London? There is still an hour. It is currently raining in London. Sir, please pay attention to avoid the rain. And, thank you for the reminder. What I need to avoid is not only the rain. Huh. Chapter 1038. Did you sleep well? When they got off the plane, Shin-chan asked Li Fan. Not bad, how about you? No one disturbed me, I slept very comfortably. Shin-chan stretched himself lazily. This is a good nap. Didn't you notice anything unusual? Ah. Anything unusual? Are you afraid of the turbulence of the plane? Shin-chan laughed at Li Fan. You're already an adult, yet you're still afraid of flying. Li Fan looked at the relaxed Shin-chan and thought to himself, it's really good to live in an ignorant world. The airport was crowded with people. When Shin-chan arrived here, she was much more relaxed. There weren't so many fans who knew her. Although Shin-chan was popular all over the country, she was still a stranger in Europe and the United States. She didn't even need to wear sunglasses and a mask and walked freely in the airport. This feeling is so good, I can do whatever I want. Shin-chan relaxed here, but she let Li Fan drag a lot of luggage behind her. In that case, don't be a star. Li Fan couldn't help but complain. How can I do that? This lady was born to attract attention. Shin-chan looked a little proud. After this album is released in the UK, I will definitely conquer these blonde and blue-eyed fans. I hope so, but didn't you come for your throat? I also want to, but the association of mages is not so easy to deal with. Thinking of this, Shin Chen felt a little bitter. I don't know them at all, and they seem to hate me very much. This is also inexplicable. Li Fan wanted to catch the British man and ask him clearly. He sensed the aura around him and captured the possible location of the British man. But there were too many people here. It was really difficult to find someone's aura. What are you looking for? Nothing. Li Fan waved his hand. Get in the car. Bastard, where's the driver responsible for picking us up? Shin Chen looked around and found that the agreed driver didn't come. She was a little angry. The agent panted and squeezed out of the crowd. Sorry, I'm late. The agent had arrived in London a step earlier to help Shin Chen settle things here. And Li Fan, as a bodyguard, accompanied Shin Chen. You don't want to work anymore? Shin Chen threw a tantrum at her manager. Did I ask you to come to London early just to have fun? The agent was the same woman in her 30s from last time. Li Fan remembered that her name was Jessica. Jessica apologized profusely, but Li Fan tried to persuade her. Forget it, it's not that late. Didn't we just get off the plane? Humph, my time is extremely precious. Shin Chen pouted. You're the only one who likes to be a good person. Humph. With that, she turned her head and left. Jessica gave Li Fan a grateful look, and then followed behind Shin Chen, asking about his well-being. Their car was parked at the entrance of the airport. As they were about to leave, Li Fan's heart skipped a beat. The crowd around them seemed to have quietened down, and then stood still, motionless. A few guests were pulling their suitcases, fixing them beside them. At the security checkpoint in the distance, a passenger was arguing with the security officer who opened his suitcase, his open mouth fixed there. A child tripped because he was running around, and his body was about to fall, stopped in midair. The second hand of the huge clock hanging on the wall also stopped moving. Time seemed to be too tired, and stopped to rest for a while. Jessica and Shin Chen were also fixed beside him, both of them motionless. Shin Chen was stretching out her hand, putting earphones into her ears. Jessica was on the phone, helping to pull the suitcase with her other hand. The surroundings were extremely quiet, not a sound at all. It was so quiet that Li Fan's ears started to hurt a little. At this moment, the sound of footsteps saved Li Fan's ears. The footsteps seemed to cause ripples in Li Fan's heart, getting closer and closer, as if it was right next to his ear. Li Fan turned around and saw a man in a tuxedo, with half a mask and a cane in his hand, walking slowly in their direction. You're here already? Li Fan stretched. It's really the right time. I'm a little bored, so I passed the time. Flame guard. The man shouted in English. It seemed to be some kind of incantation. The top of his cane lit up, and then, a ball of flame burned and appeared above his head, condensing into the shape of a little angel. This little angel stretched out his hands and aimed at Li Fan, then a series of fire arrows shot towards Li Fan. Interesting. Li Fan laughed. He stood there, punching and kicking, constantly kicking away the fire arrows that approached him. Bang, bang, bang. The fire arrows exploded in the surroundings, but Shin Chen, who was behind Li Fan, was safe and sound. Sir, are you a martial artist? The man said, This is the matter of the Association of Mages, please leave. Can the Association of Mages kill people at will? Li Fan put his hands in his pockets. I can't promise you that. This is the British Empire. The man was very impolite. Sir, you came to our territory, yet you still want to be so arrogant? We've already warned her in advance, but she didn't listen, so we naturally have to give her the punishment we promised. What did she do wrong? Li Fan was very confused. She's just an ordinary girl. Did she offend you? What happened to her is the secret of the Association of Mages. It has nothing to do with you. Then don't blame me. Li Fan stood there. Shin Chen, I'll protect her. Then don't blame me for being impolite. The man said and cast another incantation. I, Lawrence, order the flame guard to kill this man. The flame spirit stretched out his hands, condensed a huge fireball, and threw it at Li Fan. The fireball flew through the air, and before it reached him, Li Fan could feel the blazing energy on it. But he reached out his hand and directly crushed the fireball with his palm. That's it. Li Fan looked at the man called Lawrence opposite him. I thought the magic would be very strong, but now it seems that it's only a so-so. Damn it, Lawrence's heart was perturbed. He was a third-level mage of the Association of Mages, but he couldn't even hurt the opponent. In the Association of Mages, the highest level was a sixth-level mage, known as the Mage God. It was said that they could communicate with the invisible elementalist and summon a terrifying power like a nuclear bomb. These mages were all treasures of the British Parliament, and they usually wouldn't use them easily. And the elemental guard he summoned couldn't be compared to the elementalist. Could it be that magic couldn't defeat the ancient martial arts of China? Chapter 1039. Europe had been researching magic for hundreds of years, and people at that time called themselves alchemists. The formation of magic was also the history of science. Fire, light, lightning, ice, these elements could be created with science. Magic was the same. Hundreds of years ago, alchemists developed the alchemy crystal, which was used to connect with some kind of elemental life in this world. From there, they formed a contract and created magic through the elemental life. To the Magic Association, magic was the real science. A magician and his elemental life would grow together. When the elemental life grew into an elemental user, the magician would also become the strongest archmage. The power of the elements was comparable to modern high-tech weapons. Lawrence was also full of confidence in his magic. As the magic police of the Magic Association, he thought he could easily take care of Shin Chen. But he didn't expect to be stopped by a Chinese martial artist in the airport. Derby escaped from the plane. He warned himself that there was a Chinese martial artist on the plane, but Lawrence didn't care. But Lawrence didn't put him in his eyes. Derby was only a rank 2 magician, and his magic power was too weak. How could he compare to him? He must get rid of him here. And that Shin Chen, she must not enter London. Chinese martial artist, you forced me to do this. Lawrence, who had signed a contract with the fire element, thought that his elemental power could defeat everything. A small Chinese martial artist was no match for him. As long as he was serious, he could definitely kill him. Flame Guard, in my name, Lawrence, I order you. Flame Rain. Lawrence pointed above his head. The Flame Guard spat out hundreds of small fireballs the size of pigeon eggs. They flew into the sky and fell on Li Fan, as if it was really a rain of fire. It's useless, friend. Li Fan crossed his arms and stood there. He covered his head with true qi. The flames hit the true qi and were blocked. Even if you can play with fire, it's useless. How can he be so strong? Lawrence was a bit surprised. His flames couldn't hurt him at all. No matter what you use, it's just a form of energy. Your energy is weaker than mine. How can you hurt me? Not to mention, your body is too weak. As he spoke, Li Fan had already jumped in front of Lawrence. Guard charge. The Flame Guard released a huge wave of fire, which struck Li Fan's body. However, with a wave of his hand, Li Fan chopped off the wave of fire with his knife hand. He then kicked Lawrence. Bang! Lawrence's body was sent flying like a bullet. In the blink of an eye, he flew dozens of meters away and smashed into the opposite wall. He was knocked out by Li Fan's kick, and even the magic pocket watch he was wearing on his chest was shattered. The time that had stopped in the surroundings continued to flow. No one knew that a battle had just taken place. Everything was normal. Li Fan, hurry up. What are you waiting for? Shen Chen turned her head and scolded Li Fan. Yes, I'm coming. Li Fan saw that Lawrence had already disappeared, leaving only a human-shaped hole on the wall. It seemed that there should be other magicians here, and they probably took him away. Although he was not strong, his ability to stop time and change space made Li Fan very concerned. However, it seemed that these did not have any effect on him. Was it because his energy blocked the other's energy? Li Fan's interest in studying was aroused. He really wanted to study magic properly. Not long after Li Fan left, Lawrence, who had been seriously injured, was standing on the platform on the second floor, looking in the direction of the airport gate. You failed, Lawrence. Debbie stood next to him, leaning on her cane, looking at the magician who was stronger than her. I warned you, but you didn't take it seriously. If you had found support, you wouldn't have failed. It's not your turn to lecture me. I healed you. You don't respect me, which is equivalent to disrespecting your own life. I'm your boss. You should have helped me. Lawrence was very unwilling. Go and find out where this martial fighter came from. Okay, but the devil's spawn has entered London, and the prophecy is about to come true. What should we do? The Magic Association should have listened to me long ago. If they had directly gotten rid of the devil's spawn, there wouldn't be today's trouble. China has been a forbidden land since ancient times. You've seen the power of that martial fighter. We are no match for him. We still have the god of magic. Lawrence's eyes sharpened. Don't forget, the creator of the Golden Empire was defeated by our god of magic. It's good that you're motivated, but I still think we should ask for support. As long as we get rid of Shin Chen, you and I can both be promoted. Lawrence reminded Debbie. Don't forget, even if we are magicians, we can't make money. Without money, how are we going to pay for our luxury apartment? At most, I'll make money to support you. Making money is my business. You just have to listen to me. Lawrence pulled Debbie into his arms. Be good, or I'll really get angry. Okay, you have the final say. That's more like it. Okay, hurry up and find out the background of that martial fighter. I have to go back to the department. Are you going to fix the pocket watch? Yes, this is the symbol of a third-level magician. Without it, a lot of things will be inconvenient. The two of them went their separate ways. Lawrence passed through a door and disappeared into the airport. The devil's spawn, Debbie looked outside the airport. I hope the prophecy won't come true. He also left the airport. After 2 battles in a row, Li Fan did not tell Shin Chen. There was no need to make her panic. Anyway, he could protect her. Shin Chen almost did not rest after arriving in England. She participated in 2 days of activities in a row. TV stations, entertainment companies, signing sites, and so on. A Bentley was responsible for Shin Chen's travel. She had to go to a private TV station to do an activity. At this time, she had already fallen asleep in the car. Li Fan looked at Shin Chen and thought to himself that it was really not easy to be a star. This girl usually looked so frivolous, but she seemed to be quite hard-working when it came to work. Li Fan, it's been hard on you these days. You accompanied us here and there. Jessica sat in the car. She had just contacted a record company. After putting down the phone, she said to Li Fan apologetically. No, this is what I should do. Li Fan would not go back on what he promised. Didn't she say that she wanted to treat her throat? Why hasn't she gone yet? Are you going back tomorrow? Jessica's face suddenly showed a difficult expression.